I guess this is as good a time as any to fire up the face cam as we have 9 out of the 10 players in game. So hello everybody. I'll be casting the Go4R tonight, or at least part of it. Pardon my accent. I usually am accompanied by somebody else, but that somebody else, native English speaker, isn't going to be here tonight, so you'll have to endure my horrible English accent. First Silver 5 playing in Go4R6 says, is there a Silver 5 in the game here? Oh, there is. Psycho says, ready. Well, we'll have to... Dude, it's been a rough season. No, so the players are... Oh, that's awkward. The guy just logged in and logged right out. Let me just make sure that we do have the right microphone
or connected. He'll be right back.
Audio device. There we go. We can hear.
I love you, glitch.
Yeah, no worries. It also makes me realize...
You know how wonderful Siege servers are.
Oh, yes, they're legendary. Yeah, so I'll be alone tonight. So just to make sure, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And we are on. Let's just jump into that screen. Here we go with the R6 tracker. Oh, as soon as I leave, okay, I'll have to do this on the other screen to manage the operator's bands. As this is something we'd want to have on the overlay, won't we? I also do hear that I have a follower, Goalie Monkey Gaming. Thank you for following. So yeah, we do have a 4.5 minutes delay, as it is standard for ESL games. So pardon the more than you'd be, I assume, used to delay in here. First ban here will be Maverick. Let's just remind ourselves that we are playing Border here. So to ban Maverick on Border is, it's something I wasn't exactly expecting, or it's not the most obvious, I'd say, choice here. Nomad will be the second ban, this time by Liberty Gaming. So yeah, if we talk about Maverick a bit, he can be really good when you want to prevent that bandit tricksing, opening up a certain wall at feet level. We can think, for example, at the balconies on Clubhouse. But here, on Border, the hard destruction is important, admittedly. However, it's not exactly destruction where you usually can just rappel up to do that nifty Maverick trick. So it leaves me wondering why exactly Humble Fraggers, I believe, right? Let me just make sure real quick. Yeah, why exactly Humble Fraggers were going for this ban? I guess time will tell, because usually you'd ban the operator that is a natural counter to your playstyle. Therefore, we'll just have to take a look at their games to know exactly why they've done so. But with that being said, we will be just about ready to jump into our first round that will be played without any surprises into Armory Lockers and Archives. If they were gonna go anywhere else, they'd better have a custom-made strategy here. If we go for the standard rank strats, well, Armory Lockers is the go-to, right? With that being said, Humble Fraggers here will have an interesting composition here. Seeing Capcan is not something that we usually see in the first round. I mean, if it's part of their strategy, by all means, guys, go for it. However, it's the kind of operator that you tend to see in later rounds when, for the one like the other team, it does not go too well. And if you start to get, I don't want to say demoralized a bit, but if you start thinking we're having troubles fragging them out with our guns, let's try to get some nifty kills with our gadgets. This is when you can see Capcan and Frost making an appearance here in the first round. It is quite obvious here that Cave Troll is using it as he was intending to. It's not a concession of a gun skill or something like that. However, is this a doorway that you can put an entry denial device on? I don't think so. So yeah, we do see here... Psycho wants to destroy this. The speaker gaming granola. I will just try to make sure to not butcher these name pronunciations. If one of the attackers, for example Sledge, wanted to come in through the exterior wall, that could have been a nice first firefight here, but it's not going to happen as USB will get their first kill with a Nitro. Apparently the attackers here are going directly for the OBJ instead of coming into in a more easy place. For example, I don't know, let's say CCTV would, I guess, not be as protected. Here offering will already be planted the diffuser. Nitro cells being tossed, does not get any kills though. We are starting to hear smokes being popped. It's Big Oof here is in a good position to prevent the plant of the diffuser. We'll get a first kill here, nicely done, but he's too late to prevent the plant of the diffuser. That is unfortunate as he had every opportunity to do so. Firemeister gets a first kill here. Offering, he heard the run out, but Mozzie here will probably see the rappel line. Apparently does not, no kill will happen here. So the defenders, though they have the numerical advantage, it's not looking, well, too good for them, because I don't exactly see how, given the current situation, they could easily come up to the diffuser and counter defuse it right now. We are going to be seeing Insane try to go for something, USB as well. Even here, Gaming Granola will go for the, he will be prone. That seems to work. Offering will be the last guy alive. Gets killed. Will we have enough time to counter-defuse that diffuser? It will be cutting it close, but I do believe it will work. Yes, exactly. Humble Fraggers will win the first round. Ways up. I am glad my accent is pleasing to you. Some people do not like it. So yeah, I'll take this as a win. What is another win will be that first round one for the Humble Fraggers here. I don't want to say that I didn't expect it, because it still was a 4v2, but the position of the remaining attackers was just so powerful. You saw really well how they were able to, with only 2 guns, let's just remind ourselves that, lock down any and all rotations. It took here, it was Vigil to come crawling up to the window to get that Jackal off of there. Buck, being the last guy alive, sadly was really low on health. On the rappel line, his movements were really limited, putting him at a disadvantage in the actual firefight. Fraggers first round 1.
Attackers need to locate and defuse his bomb.
So, with a first round 1 on the orange team here, we will be going in Tellers. Tellers used, and I do mean used, to be the single least liked bomb site on this map. However, it might be just me, it might be that I'm missing something, but recently it's been way more used, at least from my point of view, from the games I've been able to watch. And it's quite an open question, because I really don't have an answer to it. Why is the Tellers and bathroom site so much more loved now than it used to be? Because once again, honestly, I do not know why people tend to go there compared to in the previous seasons. Like there has to be a specific update that has changed something up in the meta, and I'm not able to figure it out. I thought maybe Gaming Granola was gonna go for a spawn kill, but as we can see, that wall is still intact, so nobody has been. So he wasn't trying to go for a spawn kill. The hatch above has been opened up. Here, I heard a firefight. I thought it was Rook, but USB and Nixty both get a nifty little kill here. Quick opening from the attackers. Liberty Gaming already, figuratively speaking, knocking at the OBJ door. Nice kill here from Nixty. That's his second kill, I believe. Gaming Granola will have to come back as he's in a good position to go for a flank. I do see IQ. Nice one tap. That was solid. He seems to know he'll be pushed. Oh, Psycho was not going for Rook. He was going for the verticality play. First of all, you have to clear out the top roamers first, right? But at the same time, it's something that Liberty Gaming wasn't exactly trying to do. They were going directly for the OBJ. Kind of didn't work. We're in a 1v2 situation right now. And then they started to go after those roamers or after those upstairs anchoring operators, which kind of worked, kind of didn't work. The first push obviously was a failure. The second one, going against those roamers, though the top floor hasn't exactly been challenged too intensively, we still find ourselves in a 1v1 situation. But with Thermite, being really low on health, this is going to be really difficult for him to pull through. Just as I say that, it's Bigfoot gets a final kill cam, winning his team the second round. There we go. I am quite happy with myself as... Oh. Okay, I believe we'll be seeing the replays from the 2 previous rounds. Why, I don't exactly know. But yeah, I'll just make sure... Oh, this has to go down. I'll just make sure that we are
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
not seeing them again a second time next time. And sorry for the audio balancing. I just realized that the replays were way too loud. So sorry about that. But we can see how, during the first round, Humble Fraggers were able to pull it back. That was quite a nice comeback. And we will shortly be seeing the second round. Just as soon as this... yeah, exactly, right here. So IQ was able to pull a nice tight angle here. Rook with a one-tap. I am quite surprised, though. He was peeking way longer than he should have been. IQ was definitely not expecting any kind of pressure from that angle. Well, even with us with Zofia, who was able to injure, to some extent, the mute here, but it really was up to Thermite to get that kill, which he did get. We will see it in a few moments here. He did take a lot of damage, though, and that ended up being his doom, since he lost his life during his next engagement. So, this...
5 seconds left before insertion.
This will leave us with very little time to prepare for this third round, so let's just get a recap real quick. 2 reinforcement walls right here, a rotation hole. This is more of a peek hole than anything else. On the other side, this has been completely reinforced except for the part of the wall that is facing the tellers. The camera will be destroyed with technically a wall bank. And Hawkshear is going to go for the top push. My question, however, is not exactly a singular anti-roamer. It will be more of a team effort. Where is the team as a whole going? And it will apparently be to the lockers here. We will see USB, who will be getting some pressure. Hawks on his side is able to get a nice little kill. Gaming Granola will get the refrag, though. Here on the lockers, though, we have Rook, who will get a good kill on Thermite. Thermite obviously having kind of a VIP role with his exothermic charge, so getting him out of the way is going to be very beneficial for the defenders here. I did hear a few Evil Eyes, but I'm not exactly able to pin down where they were or where they were firing at. And right here we do have IQ and Firemaster who are going against the Rook here. Rook will get another kill, second kill. It is also the second time he gets the kill on the bear of the diffuser, so bringing the diffuser closer to him. This time, I assume he will have seen it, so he'll know that he's in a power position right now. This is why the remaining attackers will have to go up against him. Psycho trying to come back. It just does not work. Nice kill from Gaming Granola. The roaming here seems to be paying off, and he gets another kill, leaving us with, I believe, Rook, who got 2 kills. Gaming Granola with 2 kills as well. And it wasn't technically a double kill on the final kill cam. This is solid plays from Humble Fraggers so far. We really do see why they were seated, I believe, 8th on that Go4R. It really does show that they're not just any randoms. Sorry about that, people. Somebody was talking to me and I kind of had to mute myself. So yeah, let's just get I'll try to get my head back into the game. The roaming game was really good in this third round. As we could see, the attackers, the Liberty Gaming team, was not really able to mount any attack on the objective itself, as they were all wiped out going against roamers or anchors that were anchoring the top floor. I don't really want to say actively roaming, because they weren't, for example, Rook wasn't trying actively to flank and to shoot the attackers in their backs. He was just anchoring outside the OBJ. Nonetheless, it worked quite flawlessly. On the 4th round here, we'll be going armor lockers again. And let's see here. This will be the first time that the Liberty Gaming team is going against a second defense from the Humble Fraggers. With that, I mean, Humble Fraggers have been here already. Liberty Gaming, to some extent, should know what they're going to be going up against. They should know what their strategy, the Humble Fraggers teams, I mean, is going to look like. And they should be able to mount a response to it. At least assuming they try to adapt to their opponent's playstyle, which, for their sake, I do hope. Psycho, for example, will be going on the first floor, trying to find those pesky roamers. Are there Romos on the first floor, though? This would be our first question. Gaming Granola. He was in their staircase, apparently trying to cover the top floor, but he is in the waiting room right now, and he definitely hears Buck. He definitely knows what is going on, and he is out for blood. He nonetheless will be quite careful. That Fragnade was able to get a nice kill from, I believe, Huck's Genius or somebody along those lines. Gaming Granola will be back. That drone may or may not have seen him, so obviously he was cloaked, but the drone will have been jammed to some extent, and it will not work. Nice double kill by Hux. Oh, wow, on the OBJ itself! Those kills happened way too fast on the kill feed. But yeah, that was really a round that was played by the frag grenades. We could see that we had a few people in a down but not out stage, which was remedied as soon as the final kill happened. And it all happened so fast that I'm sorry, I only have 3 replays. But there will be beautiful replays. Vigil here, trying to go for the room. He was really cautious. He was really taking his time. Didn't want to make too much noise. In the end, though, it did not work out. And yeah, that crazy kill feed here, I honestly do not know what happened. Buck threw a nade, got 2 kills. At the very same time, he got a kill with his gun, getting us 3 down, I believe. And there was a down but not out, which got us 4 kills at the very same moment. As far as I can tell. Admittedly, I missed quite a bit of action on the OBJ itself. But with that being said, we're heading into our 5th round. And this was the first round Liberty Gaming was able to win. So, good for them, because if you lose too many rounds in a row, it can get quite difficult on the morale. If you're losing round after round after round, you end up, subconsciously at least, asking yourself, why am I still trying? It is... You might think the game's already done, it's already lost, and if God forbid, the players should start to argue amongst each other, you can tell the team cohesion is going to be going downhill pretty fast. So for Liberty Gaming's sake, even though it's still a 3-1, this first round 1 for them was pretty important here. We still see some roaming on the first floor. This time, however, Insane seems to know where the attackers were coming in from. Oh, is he even going to go for a spawn kill or for a run out? It seems to be quite late to go for an actual spawn kill, but he seems to be knowing exactly. There's also a drone that we can see a bit to the left of his holographic side here. But yeah, he knows exactly what the opening game was for the Liberty Gaming here. He is really cautious to remain in their dead angle, but apparently, is it Gaming Granola who's been seen/droned out? Either way, this is going to be enough to just make it so that the Liberty Gaming guys don't really want to push from that angle, except for maybe Ash. Ash, who will be picked off by Insane. Nixty will do, sadly, a team kill on his teammate. Insane will be down but not out, but will we see Offering, or Nixty, sorry, try to go for to finish him off. It does not look like it. The battery, though, will be destroyed, leaving us with Offering, who can really easily open up the reinforced wall by now. However, we still do have a USB right here with 1 shock wire, so he will be playing it close if he wants to go for the bandit tricks, especially considering that the floor underneath his feet have been opened up. Oh, right here, Nixty did not see somebody behind him. That will get him a first kill here. He will turn around. Who was that? I believe it was Jaeger. No, it was Echo. Echo here, who could have gotten a free kill earlier on. He will redeem himself with that kill, but IQ, after having missed him once, will get the kill the second time around. And this was Gaming Granola reviving his teammate. They were basically out of the picture for a few moments. They're coming up back up the stairs now, but this is not looking too good here. Liberty Gaming, though they have the advantage strategic-wise, they are at a disadvantaged position because they're in a 2v3 situation. But the timer is slowly but surely running out. We have Mozzie going for a roam. It will not work, so both remaining defenders will be going for a frontal push, which will be repelled by Nixty. Nice firing here. He got 4 kills that round, I believe. The first run-in, the second on Echo, and those 2 final kill cams. This is how you just simply prove that you have a superior aim to your enemies, and sometimes it's all that you need. God damn it, do we still have the replays from the previous round? Why? Just why? Or did so many kills happen? Okay, no, I thought I had, again, replays for 2 rounds, but it's just me being kind of distracted because we saw so many kills this round. It is not a mistake. So, Let's go for it again, this time in the right order. Ash trying to go for that. I don't really know how that is called in English, that room here. Nazi being able to repel Ash on the first try. Second try though, he will be put down. He'll be revived later on though, IQ here, with the aggressive push, and it kind of worked. Once again, because Echo was on his drones, when he gets up to the drones, gets a first kill, but really the important frag was just not happening here. He will be repelled by IQ, who will basically win the rest of the round for her team. With the only notable exception from Matzi, will have been dealt with by Thermite, as we can see right here. And this is basically what happened last round. Let's just let the replays finish out, and we will be heading into our sixth round. Sixth round, the last one before the role swap. And here, the OBJ itself is going to be, let's just show it here, on the workshop and ventilation room. No reinforcements on that wall this time. On the bathroom, very little reinforcements, so it's Bigfoot will be putting up one, maybe two walls. But since he's the only one in the objective so far, necessarily a part of the wall will be without reinforcements, which could be a problem if the attackers try to go for a push from that angle. But if you just want to look at the flip side of this, obviously this implies that some reinforcements have been put on the top floor. For example, Insane here probably will be finishing up that reinforcement, though he's a bit late. I mean, Psycho could be trying to rush here. It is exactly what he does, but he's just too late to get that easy wall bang. Nonetheless, at this point, the defenders, Insane in particular, will know that they're receiving a lot of pressure. Gaming Granola, he is virtually surrounded, but it really is going to be Rook that will be receiving the pressure. It is going to be a front-facing firefight, a face-to-face firefight, so no flanking and shooting from in the backs. Therefore, the superior aim should win those firefights. Basically, who has the better shot, and it will be the attackers. Liberty Gaming, though, admittedly, they were in a 3v1 situation, allowing them to win their firefight, and this leaves us with only 2 defenders remaining. Gaming Granola gets a first kill. He seems to know that he's being surrounded. Will be dealt with by IQ, leaving us with Valkyrie in a 1v3 situation. If we could revive Thatcher, it will be 1v4. He is able to prevent the plant of the diffuser, but that angle was being covered by Hawks, who will win his team. That's the 6th round. Bringing us to, I believe, yeah, exactly a 3-on-3 situation, just in time for the role swap. So far, the teams are pretty even. Let me just answer the chat.
Attackers have located a bomb. Attackers have located a bomb.
There we go. Yeah. So sorry for the temporarily silent casting here. I really liked how Valkyrie was able though to prioritize. So Thatcher was down but not out, bleeding out right next to the opening in the floor. However, you do have to prioritize. The diffuser being planted was her top priority, and it showed. There was an easy, a free kill actually, which she did not go for. So yeah, this is something that a lesser player would have been distracted by, the bleeding out opponent right next to him. So, for our first defense here, the Liberty Gaming team obviously will be going Armory. And what can I say about Armory? The compositions here will be slightly different, obviously. So Humble Fraggers, when they're attacking, they will bring forth a few operators and a few playstyles that Liberty Gaming were not exactly keen on playing themselves. For example, Gridlock hasn't been played during the first half of the game. On the other hand, I believe we've seen a few Rook being played a few times, but Psycho playing Doc will be something new, and he's going for a bit more of an aggressive play compared to Humble Fraggers. They seem to know that somebody was they're expecting at least somebody to come up this main door. However, if we look in third person, though Buck is more or less nearby, he does not seem too keen on pushing that angle. So in the meantime, Psycho is basically holding a dead angle, and he is not going to be contributing too much to his team. As I say this, though, he turned around and got a first kill on Bigfoot, so good for him on that, and he was really able to prioritize his angles. USB will be leaving that drone here, but honestly, He is not gathering too much intel. He really wants to keep the drone alive, which I really do understand. But in the meantime, it is not going to win yourself the round. This is why Gaming Granola on his hand is able to get a first kill. As I missed that, Cave Troll gets another kill as well. 3v4 situation. However, we do not have to dog here. He almost got a wallbang. It's unfortunate, but he really does have a great game sense. He really knows where his opponents are, though I believe there was a hard wall between him and that silhouette that we saw through the wall. Nonetheless, he was spot on. Here, he gets a first kill on Gridlock. Nicely done. He is hurt, though, but it is Doc. So he'll just be using his stim pistol and be getting over it. Right here, offering. Clearly, here's somebody. And it is going to be IQ who will be finding him first. He clearly knew he couldn't just peek like that because of the Claymore. Leading us with, it's insane, okay, insane getting that kill. Hux and Psycho will be both of them on OBJ, so considering the 3v4, the 2v3 situation, sorry, Humble Fraggers will have a bit of issues entering in the OBJ simply because no roamers are out of there. As I say this, however, Hux is no longer there, and he will be kind of baiting the diffuser to be planted. He is really ready for the attackers to simply plant the diffuser and go for the nitro through the floor, which is something Insane might pick up on if he uses... Oh, and if that camera gets destroyed, that might be it for that strategy. Hux, as he takes the camera, is no longer able to see anything. He'll be playing it by audition, though, and he does not hear it, or he doesn't place the sound correctly, leaving him with no good choice. He has to come back up. He will be lit. Cave Troll trying to go for the kill does not exactly work, but nonetheless, it will be USB who finishes Hux off, and Humble Fraggers will be winning their first attack here. Nicely done. Admittedly, or presumably, I should say, against Liberty Gaming's best defense. Obviously, you'd want to go on the objective on which you have the easiest time defending when it's your first round, since you basically can choose between any bomb sites. So if Liberty Gaming wasn't able to win on their preferred bomb site, this may not this may not bode too well, I think is the expression. Once again, usually I have my co-caster, a native English speaker, who would correct me on that. But yeah, it is not a good indicator for the Liberty Gaming. The second half of the round is yet very young, so any prediction I might be doing is based off of a sample of a single round. Take this with a grain of salt. But that's what I could tell from the second half, or the beginning of the second half of the game. Our 8th round will be played up here again, obviously, with their first defense ending in failure. Liberty Gaming will be trying to go there once more. The real question, however, is going to be, what will you do more, or what will you improve upon to gather different results? The definition of madness, I believe, is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different outcome. So, if you don't want to lose another round, just like you just did, the Liberty Gaming team will have to figure something out. And it seems as if Firemeister will be trying to go for a run out, trying to go for a spawn kill. Not exactly a run out. And if we do look at the attackers, 4 of them have spawned there. Modzy, sorry. But Firemeister is not going to hold the line long enough, or hold the angle long enough to find his opponents. USB will be seeing Modzy as he flees, leaving the first floor virtually undefended. I believe there's another silhouette down there. Oh yeah, Offering is here as well, but he does not seem to be actively looking for a firefight. He's kind of looking for a quiet place to look into the cameras, leaving him vulnerable. And therefore, as soon as he's done with that, he comes back up. Taking a look at the attackers, though, the push seems to be unilateral. I don't really see the attackers, Humble Fraggers, try to encircle the defenders. They're really going for the one-angled push. They want to put their firepower in common to really be able to ensure that they will be crossing that corridor. USB here will be coming in. I was wondering who was holding the angle. It's Insane here. Insane trying to go for a firefight. Loses a few health points doing so. And yeah, the attack, nobody has died so far, let's just keep that in mind, but the attackers have on average lost more health in those previous firefights than the defenders. Hawks getting a first kill on Thermite, the bearer of the diffuser as well, so that's not going to be looking too good for Humble Fraggers. They will somehow have to get back into that killing ground to recover the diffuser, and Hawks is keen to pick up on that. He is going to try to go for those easy kills. Firemeister could easily run out as well. Big Foot would have virtually nowhere to hide should there be a run out right now. And really, the diffuser being lost in such a way really forces the attackers, the Humble Fraggers teams, to enter in the office, even though they, at the time being, really shouldn't do so. Strategically speaking, it is not sound advice. But at the same time, you can't really push the OBJ without the diffuser, so with 57 seconds remaining, they will have to figure out something fast, or the round might be lost. Firemeister here with the run out is able to tag Cave Troll, but he will barely not get the kill. Right here, as I take his perspective, Insane will be dealt with, leaving us in a 2v4 situation. It's basically a 2-1 firefight here. Gaming Granola trying to get a first kill here, just does not work out, but right now he kind of was into the office, but he does not really want to push it too far either for some reason. Hawks Genius will be the second line of defense. He will get the kill, leaving us with Cave Troll in a 1v4 situation, and it will not work. Liberty Gaming winning the 8th round, putting us back to a 4-4 scoreline. Should the current meta keep on going, or the current situation, the current trend continue, should I say, and each team winning just as many points as their opponents, I would say the overtime looks quite likely at this point. But yeah, if you want to take a look at that situation, it was really Doc's first kill on Thermite that was really a game changer. First of all, losing the diffuser is not a good idea for the attackers. Second of all, Thermite, by virtue of him having the hard breaching capabilities, kind of has a VIP gadget and a VIP role. He is a double VIP operator when he's the bearer of the diffuser. Let's keep that in mind. So him pushing like he did maybe was a bit of a mistake. Hibana was in the composition as well, so it was not the end-all be-all. You have to keep Thermite alive at all costs. But he's still on an individual level more important to the team than, say, IQ was. So, this was a good round for the Liberty Gaming team, and it's quite interesting to see how Humble Fraggers were able to flat-out crush Liberty Gaming on Armory during the 7th round. Yeah, for the 8th round, Liberty Gaming kind of crushed Humble Fraggers. So, and this is obviously the 9th round that we're going to be seeing. Therefore, even though the scoreline is quite even, sometimes the one team is going to completely dominate the other. It is quite interesting to see, actually. So, we've seen Motzi do his thing, lots of vertical destruction here, lots of vertical play being prepared for by the Liberty Gaming team. However, should they lose the control of the top floor, this is going to be a double-edged sword here. Humble Fraggers could just as easily take advantage of that. The one thing that I want to point out as well is that the defenders are a bit late, and Capitao here, Gaming Granola, should he have not been on his drone, could have gotten a, if not two, easy, or should I say lucky, wall bangs during the late reinforcements here of those two walls. We are going to be seeing Cave Troll come in, and who exactly was that silhouette that was basically ready to run out? Firemeister here could really easily jump out the window on AC. Will be using his cameras, though he does not exactly know that somebody was on the balcony here, so Gaming Granola will be coming in virtually unopposed, but we do see the Roamers being... I missed every single kill here, but the Roamers doing just as good as you might expect them to be doing. And Liberty Gaming winning a flawless round. Hawk saying, do I need to move? Let's not get cocky, guys, because you may have won that game, or that round, sorry, with a flawless round. It's not always been this way, and it's not always going to be this way. You have also lost some rounds by a brutal margin. And yeah, since the replay would have been basically the final kill cam, since I didn't see any other kills, we will keep that clip for the next round. Leaving us for the 10th round in a 4-5 scoreline. the overtime, I said this before, but it grows closer and closer. I think it quite possible. We have seen, however, both teams win 3 rounds in a row. So the orange team, Humble Fraggers, have won round 1 to 3, and Liberty Gaming 4 to 6. Sorry. Sometimes it's really one round for each team. So in those situations, I'd be tempted to say the one team that's able to win 2 rounds in a row will have the slight advantage that they need to win the map by virtue of both teams being neck and neck. But here, both teams are able to win multiple rounds in a row. However, should Liberty Gaming be on a roll here, this might be the end of Humble Fraggers. It remains to be seen, though. I don't want to predict something when the future is that uncertain. Really, I don't know how it's going to play out. What I do know, however, it's, I believe, the first time that we're seeing here the customs defense, and it's quite interesting to see how the different teams prioritize either bomb sites. Yeah, admittedly, though, the Liberty Gaming team has won in both armory and ventilation recently, so they're down to their tertiary site. Let's see how that works out for them. Hux here going for really very aggressive runouts. His position was known, and the attackers, Humble Fraggers, they really knew what to expect, but they were powerless to prevent it. USB being taken out really early on. Let me just make sure of that, before he was able to open up that wall. So, once again, utility-wise, a really good pick for Liberty Gaming. We are preparing, or we are setting ourselves up for that impact matrix. But apparently, Hibana will have lost all her appetite for that wall. And the next challenge for the building itself is going to be coming for the army locker. So this is going to be highly contested right now, with Nixty being the only defender here to keep control of it for his team's sake. It's going to be an uphill battle for him. He's going to be drowned out. He's going to be facing multiple barrels. Or, yeah, he's staring down a few enemy guns now. And this is why he really is going to pull out and push back. However, I don't know if Humble Fraggers know that he's no longer there, because they're not exactly coming in and trying to capitalize on him leaving those armories. Therefore, Cave Troll is going for the verticality play, but with some uncertainty in the attackers' minds, and Nixty is basically free to just come right up back to those attackers, and it's exactly what he's going to be doing now. Insane was holding the angle, but he is going to be bested by Nixty, who gets another kill. That Claymore, apparently you don't need it. He is peeking, though, with his mag empty. That's going to be dangerous. He will be dealt with at the very last second by Cave Troll. Cave Troll, who gets a double kill here. So, he has gotten 2 kills, now 3. 3 of the attackers are down. If he gets the clutch, the comeback, he gets an ace, though he is really low health-wise. He is not going to be allowed any mistakes, and Hawk's Genius will be challenging him, or at least making his position known. And right now, we're kind of trying to go for the flank. The timer is running out as well. Humble Fraggers, either team hasn't really gone for a late push so far, but with Cave Troll being the only one alive, being unsure about just about everything. He doesn't know where his opponents are. I don't know where the drones might be, what kind of intel his dead teammates might be feeding him. But really, with 15 seconds remaining, he has to figure out something, keeping in mind that he really isn't allowed any mistakes. He will find Offering. It's now a 1v1 situation. 5 seconds remaining. Will he be... Oh, he runs into the smoke. What an anticlimactic ending. But the timer was running out, and he, realistically speaking, had no real chance of planting the diffuser. Vigil, offering a leave, was never going to allow it. Let's go for... Cave Troll says in the chat, I'm an idiot. You still got the 4 kills. I will give you that. You almost had it. Definitely, it was a really, really close call. Yumcake, your gamer tag, or your name, kind of rings a bell, but I don't exactly know where I have seen or heard that. Yeah, so, who are you? I feel like I should know you. With that being said, Liberty Gaming has won 3 rounds in a row by now. And they are going to be in a match point situation. What can happen here? It's not unheard of for either of those teams to win 3 rounds in a row. So if they win a 4th round in a row, first of all, Liberty Gaming wins the game. Second of all, they kind of write history in the context of this match. But looking at historical data, that would be the moment or the right moment for Humble Gaming or Humble Fraggers. Sorry, for Humble Fraggers to win a round. With that being said, we're going to be seeing a bit or something new on either teams. No, really on Liberty Gaming side. Sorry, Caveira hasn't been played so far. Liberty Gaming apparently want to secure the victory right now. They're going to go for the advantage of surprise, I assume, or they're at least trying to mix things up to make sure that Humble Fraggers don't know exactly what they're going up against. Psycho really is ready for a run-out, but it doesn't. I don't see any attacker silhouettes on the east side. Yeah, all 5 of them have spawned west, actually. So any and all run-outs here is going to be, well, worthless, not because you didn't try, but simply because the attackers weren't there. I believe I've heard Firemeister's Scorpion being fired. I might be wrong here. Nonetheless, Bigfoot has taken up a few hit points worth of damage. He also, some wallbangs here were really close, presumably fired by Psycho, who will make his presence known. So all in all, either teams know that Bigfoot is here. The roamers will try to contest him firing at the ceiling, and it kind of works. He has a few problems in mind right now. I'm referring to the roamers, to simply go ham on the ceiling. Therefore, well, the OBJ itself is going to will remain pretty much intact. However, Psycho is really nearby, and his position does not seem to be known. Bigfoot, he really is expecting this, but not too much, because he was peeking while reloading, which will give Psycho the advantage and get him the first kill. 4v4 situation with just about half of the round being played so far. Caveira has gotten a first kill here, nicely done. Will not obviously go for the interrogation outside. Understandable. Gaming Granola exactly knows exactly what to expect. Hawk's Genius has been put down. Was it by Gaming Granola or by USB? Maybe USB's shooting is the most likely option here. Nonetheless, Hawk's Genius will be revived. No Doc on the team though, so his health will be stuck at 20 HP. And with a minute remaining, the Humble Fraggers guys, let's just remind ourselves, are back against the wall. Should they lose this round, they lose the game. And yeah, they'll have a hard time here. The defense on the OBJ itself are still pretty much intact. Another kill here by Hawks, nicely done. So yeah, though Liberty Gaming have lost a player, now 2, thanks to USB. Will he get a 3rd, actually? He was aiming right at about his head, but that will simply be opening up an entry point into the OBJ, which USB will be making sure to take advantage of. Psycho is coming back on the armory lockers. Will he be able to prevent the diffuser from being planted? Answer is no. Hawks, last operator alive. He is really low health-wise. He's not allowed any mistakes. As the diffuser is being planted, I don't see him winning the firefight in this situation. Insane is waiting for him, and Hawks does not exactly have great range on his guns. Just as I suspected, Humble Fraggers are winning the 11th round. They're not out of the woods yet, but the possibility of an overtime situation gets more likely by the minute. A nice round here. What I really like is when it comes down to the wire. Though flawless rounds are really nice to see, you really don't expect the underdogs to win when it's a 1v5 situation. So you kind of know where this is going. When it comes down to the wire, we are breathless to the very end. USB here, like, it was a comeback. It was a 2v4. It ended up being a 2v0 if you want to count the amount of alive operators at the end of the round on each team. Therefore, Insane and Thermite, I'm not exactly sure who that was, were able to pull, by that point, the perfect comeback. And we were Armory, going there again. Sorry guys, when I'm not exactly paying attention, I'm kind of holding a log. Should we have a rehost, I have to know what round has been played where and won by whom. And since Liberty Gaming has just lost a round on the Army Lockers bomb site, they'll be basically going there again. What I do see here, however, what catches my attention is the heavy emphasis on three armor, 1 speed operators. I do assume Hawks has the ACOG on his MP5 SD. Exactly, and we are going to be going for a few spawn kills. Cave Troll with a sad and unfortunate team kill here. Firemeister is really ready to see the other attackers. This Hawks, however, will have lost the advantage of surprise at this point. It will be Firemeister or Hawks that puts one of those players down. I don't exactly know who got the down button out. However, Gaming Granola will get the kill on Hawks. He'll be really lit though, and as far as I know, Firemeister hasn't been spotted, so he didn't take any fire. He will not be keeping that line, though. He does not want to actively try to hold an unfavorable position as offering types GG. He apparently really expects his team to win the round, and admittedly, they are off to a good start. It's now a 3v4 situation, with Gaming Granola being down to a bullet worth of health. 5, not 10 HP, definitely not 10. So any and all mistakes are going to be fatal to Gaming Granola here. Therefore, the slightest mistake on Humble Fragger's part will kick this into a 2v4. They have just won a 2v4 situation though, so it's not impossible to come back from that. It is not going to be easy though. Should Maestro have stayed in his camp a bit longer, offering would have died a really simply avoidable death. That would have been unfortunate. It did not happen. However, Gaming Granola was really ready for him, and I believe we've seen Psycho here through the murder hole really quickly. Gaming Granola though was just not able to pick up on that and to take advantage of the situation. Though the heavy emphasis on wallbangs is kind of giving away the defenders' positions constantly. Therefore, intel-wise, I'd say the Humble Fraggers do have the upper hand. But I don't really see them achieving any progress either, so they're not really pushing. Gaming here will be droning. Cave Troll gets another kill. We are off to another good start for a second 2v4 comeback. Once again, let's just remind ourselves that Gaming Granola will be really, really easy to deal with. There's no Legion on the defender's roster right now, but a simple Goomine could do the trick. Twitch destroying the Evil Eye. Psycho here will knows he'll be getting some pressure. He is able to rotate. Is Gaming Granola inside the OBJ? Apparently not, and it is really going to be a firefight between Psycho and the two remaining attackers. Nixie holding the rotation, which it currently is basically worthless. That impact nade was Twitch. It was not Nixie getting the 2 kills, winning Liberty the game. And I was going to say that impact nade could have gotten the kill had it been tossed at the other attacker. Nonetheless, here Nixie with a nice double kill. This is going to lead us into the final replays of the round, or of the game. So, congratulations to the Liberty Gaming team. They will be going a level higher. To the Humble Fraggers, guys, if I could interest you into watching that VOD afterwards to figure out what mistakes you might have committed in order to improve upon yourselves. But nonetheless, you did put up quite a fight. The comebacks were really nice. The second to last round's comeback was really nice to watch. And this is going to be it for the first game. And we'll be heading into the next one, though it doesn't. Oh wow, we have lost a lot of frames per second during that transition. I don't know what exactly was so heavy on the computer, but sorry for the temporary lag during the transition. So yeah, a big GG to the players. So I will just keep on casting that team, the Liberty team, or that branch. Whoever wins will have their next game cast. It's quite easy to have the schedules match that way. And yeah, since it's going to take a bit of time because Liberty Gaming not Unknown, that was their previous opponents, and that was the previous game as well. Let's just yeah, because both of the teams will have to upload their the anti-cheat files and everything, there is going to be, if you're not used to the way ESL's Go4R work, there'll be a bit of downtime, and it is a bit too long for my liking, so I will kick us into a be right back screen. Unfortunately, no countdown, no timer, because I don't know how long it's going to take. The other game has been finished, so their opponents will be the Say Less team. On that front, we won't have to wait for it too long. But still, it's going to take a bit of time to upload all of those anti-cheat files and to close off this game the proper way. Therefore, as I have just stated, I will off. Freak, I didn't want to kick us in so quickly. But yeah, this will be what we'll be seeing until the next game is about to start.
Disable the bomb diffuser. Bomb located by attacker has located a bomb. Attacker has located a bomb. Attacker dropped the diffuser. Attacker dropped the Attacker dropped the diffuser.
So, let's get back once again. I always drop a few frames when going into transition between the two between two scenes. I don't exactly know why. Apparently, the video file is quite heavy. Nonetheless, if I go into if I disable studio mode, will I get a bit more headroom to the a bit more headroom to the PC? Apparently, I feel like I'm cutting it close here. The PC seems to be just about full capacity. Nonetheless, we will soon, and I do mean soon, there's only a player missing, head into our second game, casted by me at least, of the night. I believe this is the third round, or third level in the bracket itself, round 32, I want to say. Yeah, round of 32. So at this point, there's 32 teams remaining. And the CLS team is going to be the new contender against Liberty Gaming. CLS themselves, they have been seeded 104th, whereas Liberty Gaming is 72nd. I might be wrong, but as far as I know, the higher seeded you are, the better the matchmaking system seems you to be. However, you'd think 104 is quite low out of just over 100 few teams, but they've been able to beat the 25th seeded team, the CLS team. Therefore, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hawks Genius says they're ready. CLS team, are you guys ready?
Yeah, we are.
Great. Good luck. Have fun. And may the best team win. And let's jump right into the game. Need for Speed 202. Thank you, or 2002. Thank you for following. Welcome to the welcome on the channel. And we will be heading into the ban phase. It's always the same thing. Before actually playing the game, we do have to take out a few of the operators we don't exactly like. Say less, we'll be banning the first operator, an attacker in this case, so they will try to cripple Liberty Gaming's attack as much as possible by banning Blackbeard. Liberty will be answering with a ban of their own. However, here, Liberty will obviously be creating themselves a really immediate and direct problem. The CLS team, they'll have to worry about not being able to play Blackbeard in 6 rounds, or 7, should I say. For the Liberty guys, it's not gonna be that easy. We will be going, we'll be kissing Nomad goodbye, which really was to be expected. Nomad is quite pesky, quite annoying. Those air jabs are basically Claymore's non-lethal ones, but still, it's a passive gadget that will make sure that any and all roamers that are trying to sneak up behind you will no longer have the advantage of surprise. Liberty also will be removing Mira from the game, so that's quite interesting. Mira, though she's quite annoying, is no longer the powerhouse she used to be. Echo will, as you may or may not have seen, will be the last ban here. So, what does that leave us with? If I was to take a look at the bans here, I'd say they're somewhat even. Like, in some games, you will see that the defender's bans are really powerful and the attacker's bans are quite weak, or the opposite, leaving us with a lopsided game, and the one team is able to rack up the points up to the middle point, to the role swap point, and then the tables basically turn. Here, I'd say the bans themselves aren't really going to dictate too much of the game. Mira, though she can be really well used on border, is banned quite often, so every team worth a damn is going to have a backup strategy that does not imply or rely on Mira being there. Same thing for Echo. And the attackers, I want to say, aren't as susceptible to this because they have to adapt and react, whereas the defenders, in this case the CLS team, really do set the pace. As the defenders, they decide which walls are going to be reinforced, which walls aren't going to be. So with both Ash and Buck being in the game, the soft destruction from the Liberty Gaming team is going to be quite potent here. We also are going to be seeing Alibi. Alibi does have a few different ways how she can be played. You can try to actively bait the attackers into shooting as one of the false alibis into one of the prismas. You can put them right in front of a window, or yo, I am being called. Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that call. Sorry, whoever's calling me. Yeah, so there are a few ways of playing Alibi. You can toss them right in front of a window, for example, that window right here, or just about any window, and the attackers are presumably gonna try to open it from a distance by shooting through the barricade, thus tagging themselves, and without having a direct line of sight on the base of the Prisma, you can't really destroy it without jumping into the room and thus tagging yourself in there, except if you have an EMP or a Twitch drone, which can be used as a great detection tool. However, it can also be used more or less offensively. We do see our first vertical kill here. This is going to be off to a rough start for the Liberty Gaming team, but it's going to be just enough to delay the bandit tricksing phase, which will allow Thermite to open up the wall. Oh, he just flashed himself, though. That's not going to be good. Bandit will be right here and strong as ever. He will do his best to prevent the attackers from coming in with a first firefight here that will not end well for him. Offering is basically ready to walk into the OBJ. Legion extension is going to be the second line of defense here. Behind the A-bomb, he hears the exothermic charge being planted. He is powerless, however, to prevent it. The diffuser is now being planted. That rotation from Jaeger. How do you pronounce that gamer tag? Seditedex. Out of fear of butchering your name, I'll just call you Jaeger. With a nice run out. You would not exactly expect the pressure coming from the balcony compared to the door itself. So, nice use of the exterior for his own gain. Psycho will be left in a 1v2 situation. He kind of hears people or defenders, should I say, on either side of him with a Guman on his foot. That's going to be really difficult for him. As well, he's going to be grunting because of the pain every few seconds, giving his position away. It's a subtle sound cue, but it's still there. He was able to get the kill. He apparently started here to pull the Guman out of his foot, thus resulting in him losing a lot of health here. And it is quite obvious that he has no idea where Jaeger is. Once again, giving Jaeger a bit of an upper hand. The advantage of surprise will now be lost, and Liberty Gaming wins the round. I honestly did not expect that. Psycho was really low on health, and therefore he was at a disadvantage into going into that firefight, which he ended up winning. So congrats on that front. But still, he had a bit of a disadvantage, and he was fighting an uphill battle here. Let's jump right into that transition. the replays are shuffled, I believe. No, they're not shuffled. Okay. Are they in chronological order? I feel like they're in a reverse chronological order, which kind of makes it... No, they're not. Okay, I am just talking nonsense. Psycho here with the goo mine, though. That was also a kill I did not really expect him to get. Limited with his movements, grunting from the pain, sound cues and positioning and all. And the time pressure was slowly but surely mounting on him. All in all, nicely done here. And that scene, well, the Elgato always needs a bit of time to warm up before the clean feed comes back.
Bomb located by attackers.
So, with that being said, since the first defense on Armory Lockers and Archives did not work out, we will be going there again and hoping for better results. And here, it is something I've said last game, for those of you who may or may not have been there. If you do the same thing over and over again, you will be facing similar results over and over again. My question to the CLS team here would be, what are you changing? Or what are you improving upon to not lose the round like you just did? Admittedly, it was a close round. But still relying on paper thin or razor thin, I think razor thin is the English expression. Relying on razor thin margins to win the rounds is not a long-term viable solution. So the answer to that is going to be Valkyrie. First of all, who wasn't there before. The red dot, however, the laser pointer might have been giving her away. Still, Frey gets the first kill on Psycho. Psycho, who was the MVP of the previous round. So that was a really important first kill here. As soon as I want to take his position, his POV, Jaeger gets another kill on Hawks. Both anti-roamers are anti-roaming attacking operators have been dealt with. Nixty will be trying his hand at clearing out those roamers with limited success. He really has to figure out where the defenders are, and he can. As soon as I want to take his POV, I'm missing a few kills here. But yeah, Nixty was kind of going in blind. He didn't really have anybody to drone out for him, and he knew that two defenders were there. But they're no longer present. Frey has come back up. Jaeger sedated. I really want to know how to pronounce your name, but I'm really afraid to butcher it every time. So yeah, Jaeger as well was there, but is no longer roaming downstairs, leaving us all in all with Firemeister in a 1v3 situation. And what can I say? He does not really know anything about the positioning of his opponents. The Thermite's hard breaching has been a success, so that will open him up a few opportunities or a few possibilities which he might not have had otherwise. But all of that is going to be for naught, as a simple peek from Jaeger will get another kill, the final kill for this round, winning CLS their first round, putting us at a 1-1 score line. I have missed quite a few kills this round, so the replays will be few. But Frey here was quite successful. The roaming, or the opening of the round was quite important, and it was quite fast. I don't know if it's because the Liberty guys were feeling confident about sedated. Sedated, okay. And it's Tasty. Is there somebody else named Tasty in the orange team? No, okay. So yeah, sedated. Oh, okay, it's the X at the end of his gamer tag that really was screwing with my brain. Thank you. It's okay. It's the Melon Lord. Okay, wow. English isn't my first language. Does it show? I think it does. Sadly. But yeah, so Sedated was able to get a few nice kills here, and with their first victory, they obviously can't go armory again. They'll be going downstairs, workshop and ventilation. The standard secondary site, bomb site, I'd say, and so far, for better or for worse, it seems as if the CLS team is going for the standard, I'd say, rank strat. They're not really trying to come up with a strat of their own, and at the same time, it's they're going for a safe value. It's not NT. NT. Once again, with a 4.5 minutes delay, I'm having a few difficulties. It's Melon Lord to figure out what you're referring to. It's not a two-piece meal. I'm sorry about that. Either way, the attackers are really going. Oh, Kavera with the run out here. Sadly, is not going to be achieving any results with that. Sedated will be receiving a bit of pressure here with Buck, who is prone. Kind of expects pressure to be coming from that door, but it's going to be the opening that he himself created that's going to be turned against him. Sedated is really the top fragger in his team, I would say, or I would tend to believe. Let's take a look at it real quick. Yeah, he has more kills than every other teammate combined. So that's looking pretty good for Liberty, considering that they have just dealt with CLS's top fragger and top fragger by far. The remaining defenders here are kind of playing it stealthily, not stealth all the way, but still they're not actively trying to engage in a firefight and to actively get a kill. They are more or less relying on the advantage of surprise and, as I said, on stealth. The results more or less show Offering has taken a bit of damage. He has dealt a few hits point worth of damage in return, but I believe he's taken more hits than he has inflicted on his opponents. Tino here will get a nice double kill, will be unable, however, to finish Thermite off before he gets himself dealt with by Psycho. We will... Oh, that impact nade could have gotten the kill on Offering. That's quite lucky here. We do see, however, another silhouette that was trying to go for the roam. Unfortunately, here Frey will be shot down quite rapidly, or fortunately if you are rooting for the Liberty Gaming team. So that leaves us with Extension, who will be peeking into Thatcher, or it's not exactly, yeah, it is Thatcher's POV, right? Yeah, Thatcher, who sadly just missed him. He will correct himself really quickly though, and Pistol, last operator alive, will have to prevent the diffuser from being planted with 30 seconds remaining on the clock. He will just not get the kill here. I really expected him to get it though. He was, his pre-fire was just at the right angle to get Firemeister's head, but apparently the recoil or a similar variable was too much for him to control, as Thatcher here gets another kill, leading us into a 2-1 score. So, the replays. What can I say about this round? Hawks shouldn't have opened that wall. It just opened up the opportunity for Mozzie to get an easy kill. An easy kill which was not chained up by a second one, as we could see. He was dealt with quite rapidly after that. Jaeger had a golden opportunity. He took an opponent down, he injured another one, and once he got down, because it was not a question, right? He was going up against a 2 or 3 or 4 attackers at the very least, so his demise was not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Sadly, Kavera, who was going up there to try to finish up what he had started, was unsuccessful. The attackers really knew she was coming, so I assume a drone saw her. And yeah, knowledge is power. This really shows us that. Leaving us with the 4th round. So since Salas have lost the defense here, they'll be going workshop again.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
And it might just be the same situation as the 2 first round. So Salas has lost their first defense here. They, let's hope for their sake, have figured out what went wrong, and they will try to find an answer to those few mistakes. I do have, however, one thing to say. Pistol has definitely been identified, and when you see a Valkyrie run out, you exactly know what she's going for, the outside camera. So Psycho, especially considering that he's playing IQ, should have next to no issues finding that camera. But if he's not careful, he will open himself up to one of Pistol's runouts here. Yeah, the camera has definitely been identified. Will he try to run out? Apparently not, though. It will be taking Psycho, sorry, a few moments, though, to destroy the camera. A few moments where a distraction could have proven fatal, but once again, Valkyrie wanted to play it safe here. And Hawks will apparently be going for the same push as last time, with better results. Obviously, he hasn't been ran out by Mozzie, and Pistol here was on the seemingly perfect flank, but apparently Hawks had a warning of his presence, was able to turn around and to get a flick on him. Tino here will be facing a few of the attackers. He'll be flanked by Psycho as well. That's not off to a good start here. CLS The CLS team is basically absent from the top floor. So Frey will have to hold on both sides on his own, which is absolutely going to be a challenge. Extension here kind of seems to know what to expect. Did Firemeister hear him? I do not know. The run out here will sadly not work, and Psycho gets a kill at the very same moment. Liberty Gaming winning a flawless round. So here Psycho with the drop down of the hatch, he was able to be really aggressive, and that paid off. So what do we have here? A 3-1 scoreline. At the beginning of the game, I was thinking maybe this was going to be a really neck-and-neck game. The scoreline was going to be pretty much always really similar on both sides. But right now, the Liberty team is able to carve themselves a bit of leeway here. They are pulling ahead, and should you be rooting for the CLS team, you'd hope CLS are able to put a dent into the current rate at which Liberty wins their rounds, because 3-1, should you double that, 6-2 is looking, it would hypothetically be a really steep hill to climb if you want to get the comeback done. So yeah, the game all in all is still pretty young, but at the same time, the trend here is starting to show. So, after having lost twice downstairs, we will be going Armory again. And what's quite interesting here is that both teams have seen what Armory looks like. CLS, they've shown Liberty Gaming how they defend it. Liberty Gaming knows what to expect and what they're going up against. So, it's not exactly going to be up to the advantage of surprise, but to both teams' capabilities of responding to their opponent's attack. Apparently sedated here, really close to a door. I was half hoping he would go for a run out, attempt a spawn kill, which at the end of the day did not exactly happen. Pistol with the Evil Eye. As always, guys, just make sure to finish reinforcing or preparing your defense within 45 seconds, because if you're still putting down barbed wire, reinforcing a wall, or putting up a Evil Eye, a hypothetical Ash Rush can deal lots of damage to unsuspecting defenders. That camera will obviously be destroyed quite easily by Hawks, but he appears to be more or less isolated. My question is, as a team, where are Liberty Gaming going to attack, or what angle are they going to try to work on? So Hawks seems to be going for an anti-roaming phase. We will try to deal with the roamers before we push into the objective itself, which in and of itself is quite understandable. Frey here kind of ready to perform his Benetrixing magic. Tino trying to fight off, who was that? Thatcher, I believe, with no effects on either teams. Both players who were exchanging fire did not hit their enemy once, and the Magic-Trixing phase is about to begin. With the floor being destroyed underneath him, Hawks will absolutely be pinning Frey down, and Pistol here apparently was just waiting for Buck to open up the floor beneath him. That almost worked. Hawks is really lit now, but he got his opponent, and Pistol can just not claim the same. So 2v3 situation, offering repelling here will have very limited movement, so his positioning is going to be known. Obviously the repel line does make quite a bit of noise, but the defenders, currently Tino, do not appear really eager to peek that angle, offering really the advantage or the opportunity to take the lead and to set the pace for the remainder of the round. Really, currently Tino seems to be the only defender that's looking that way. Apparently I was wrong, and Thermite was just not ready for Tino to be there. I believe the Evil Eye was disabled, so Thermite wasn't being identified, but still, that was a simple and basic peek, right? There was no voodoo magic involved, and yet Thermite was just caught unaware. Therefore, I just have to commend Dino on his nice positioning. And that's also going to be good news for the defenders here of the CLS team. Are closing the gap between them and the Liberty Gaming's score. So should you be rooting for CLS, this could be the beginning of the tiny slight comeback they have to perform to even out the score lines. And I have missed out on a few of the kills, so this will be replays. Let's take a look at the 6th round, the last round before the role swap. Let's just wait for the game to load. UB, please. There we go. So, the last opportunity for either teams to win a round on offense or on defense. So, should, for example, the Liberty Gaming's attack be way more efficient than their defense, this could be the last round for them to win, the last opportunity for them to win a point in their element, right? On the other hand, should the Celeste team be more efficient on attack or less efficient on attack, we might see the tides shift here soon. That might have just been a play on words on the next season, but I just realized it as soon as I said it. Yeah, so the tables may turn. The rate at which either teams wins points might be completely changing soon. It yet remains to be seen, but yeah, all in all, role swap is coming. Hawks and Psycho will be pushing in a 2-man squad here, going up top. Let's just take a look at the other attackers. It really does seem as if all of the attackers, all of Liberty Gaming, will be trying to fend off the roamers before they push into the OBJ. And Tino here almost got hit by a few wallbangs. I believe he camouflaged himself just in time to prevent a ping, because a ping would have been the death of him. And he will be rotating basically in the midst of... Oh, that timing was lucky for Nixty here. But yeah, Tino going Armory, maybe even wanting to rotate up to CCTV, is just trading an enemy for another. He was facing, I believe, Hawks' wallbangs, and now it's gonna be Offering who will be trying to take care of him. So here Tino will have to juggle between a few different lines of sight, and it's just not gonna be enough, as Hawks will be making short work of him. Sedated also is able to get a nice kill, a double kill for him, nicely done. So yeah, he was roaming a bit later, or he didn't start the round on the top floor. But once he got back, it was the right moment, and he knew what to do, leaving the defenders in a 3v4 situation. As I say, this 2v4 situation, but Offering will be able to bring that back down to a 2-on-3. The timer is slowly running out, but it's not critical, and by a long shot. So I don't really know who is being favored or who has the advantage, the upper hand in the current situation. The attackers are obviously at a numerical disadvantage, but they still have plenty of time to figure out what they want to do to drone their opponents out, to rotate, or just to take a breath and think about their next move. Whereas the defenders obviously have the numbers advantage, and they are locking down a few rotation angles. Sedated looking at the top of the staircase. Pistol here obviously will be cutting off any rotation from that from the waiting room area, and extension basically the only operator on the OBJ itself. Firemeister however was able to evade any and all lines. Pistol and Sedated are holding, or here Sedated might be finding the Firemeister quite soon. The advantage of surprise now will be lost. His position will not be known. He has a Guman in his foot, but Pistol will just not be peeking. That could have been the end of Thatcher. Offering jumping will be dealt with at the very same time as Thatcher falls to extend Pistols. Yeah, fire, winning CLS their 3rd round. The role swap will be done at a 3-3 scoreline. So yeah, let's go for that replay. I can't help but feel like the defenders here didn't put up enough resources and efforts into holding the top floor. They still won, so at the end, even though it may or may not have been a mistake, it did not pan out to cost them the round, but still, the verticality on that bomb site in particular is quite important, as basically the whole ceiling is soft and destructible. So having the roamers basically anchor into that, how do you call it, the custom site, the custom inspection, it might have been not aggressive enough. Sorry, kind of lost my train of thought there when looking for the customs room name. Nonetheless, Liberty Gaming, they were kind of pulling ahead here. This is just no longer the case. And should we see another 3-3 points being won on both teams for the second half of the game, we might be looking at an overtime situation. Maybe. Or maybe not. Yet remains to be seen. Nonetheless, we will see Nixty playing Alibi here. We've seen her being played a few times before. But not too often. And obviously with the role swap will come new habits and playstyles on either teams. The easy example here will be Zofia. Nobody on the Liberty Gaming team has played Zofia when they were attacking. Therefore, Sayles are basically bringing something new to the table. Though Zofia's gadget is not exactly, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it does not completely change the way you play Siege, unlike, say, Lion or Dokubi, who are basically going to be paralyzing the enemy team for a few seconds on their own manners. But yeah, Zofia is basically a variation on Ashe, so I don't expect to see a new playstyle, but still, a new gun is nothing that I'm going to be against, right? So, currently, the defenders, though we do have a few of them that aren't on the OBJ itself, do not seem to be going for the aggressive roam. They are simply going for an extended hold, and if the first kill is to be an indicator of the remainder of the game, well, it seems, or of the round at least, it seems to be off to a good start. Tino here is kind of wanting to push that angle, but he kind of knows that Psycho is here. Therefore, that roam, or that flank from Sedated would have been really important. Sadly, it failed though. So, we will have to go face-to-face against our opponents. Thermite was able to open up the wall. Is there somebody to come up into that opening? Yeah, Tino's there. Will he be able to push though? That's another matter entirely, as there are a few defenders around him. He will be droned. He will be droning as Doc runs out. A fatal mistake here that Firemaster will be sure to capitalize on. So, Pistol here is yet unknown. His positioning, I believe, gets a first kill on Firemaster, but there's Psycho right here who could easily peek him. Apparently, Psycho will be trying to play it stealthily. It kind of works. The Thermite will be dealt with, leaving us extension in a 1v4, I believe, situation. Psycho gets another kill, winning Liberty Gaming their fourth round here. And the two kills were quite packed together in this, on the timeline. Therefore, the final kill cam was a double kill. It's always nice to see. Here we go. So, Psycho here was able to hear the barbed wire. The barbed wire definitely served its purpose. Tino, yeah, it's always dangerous to just be on those balconies, because if somebody is to run out, or if somebody is to try to peek you, you have nowhere to hide. There's absolutely no piece of cover whatsoever on the balcony. So you really have to have a flawless shot, which was just not the case here. Thatcher was droning after all. Combined with Psycho's nifty double kill here, that's a rep for the 7th round. So, with Liberty Gaming's victory up here, they will obviously have to go on their secondary site, which unsurprisingly happens to be Workshop. It is quite rare, honestly, to see teams have as primary or secondary sites anything else than Armory and Workshop. However, the one thing I do want to point out is that the defenders have opened up the hatches. They're opening up quite a few places on the floor here. That wall being reinforced as well. Probably will end up being electrified by Thermeister. Hawks with the Overlords. Will he be trying to protect? So, won't that jammer be electrocuted? No, I don't see any batteries. Okay, so we'll be going for the Battery instead. Nonetheless, as we can see, there is a really, really heavy emphasis on the verticality play here. Liberty Gaming kind of hedging their bets on holding the lockers area, as the Celeste team will have a really, and I do mean really, a hard time to plant the diffuser if the ceiling above them is opened up and if they're receiving a hail of bullets from above. So, though seated here, should have next to no difficulties to find his way into the objective. After all, there is basically only offering in the workshop to hold off the attack. He will get a first kill here, by the way. Nicely done. He was at a disadvantage. He does not really have a weapon that's made for long-range firefights, but he was able to best buck in that exchange. So nicely done here, and he will apparently be going on a bit of a roam here. So the objective itself is only being held by the verticality play. And definitely, I don't exactly see how the attackers would be able to play the diffuser given the current situation. Though in their defense, they still have over a minute and a half to deal with those pesky roamers up top. Nonetheless, should the diffuser be planted, for example, with the cover of a smoke grenade, well, the defenders, the Liberty Gaming guys, being up top could be difficult. Could put them in a difficult position, since they would not be in a position to destroy or counter defuse the diffuser. Jumping down the hatches is dangerous for an attacker, just as it is dangerous for a defender, since the movement, the range of movements it allows you is quite limited. The attackers are also dropping the diffuser. Zofia gets hit by Psycho. Psycho will just keep on gunning. Will he be able to get another kill? Yes, and his possibly third victim is quite low, but nonetheless, Hibana is able to best him, leaving us in a 2v4 situation. So both Heart Breachers are still up. Admittedly, or visibly should I say, Hibana has done her work. Pistol might still try to open up a wall, but the smoke canisters here, the toxic babes, will be tossed, and it's just the right moment, as with only 30 seconds remaining, Pistol does not have enough health to just rush through a cloud of smoke. So Sedated here saw that there were some castle barricades. He knew he couldn't push from there, so he is able to get back into the server room. He will, however, have to cover Pistol, whilst he tries to play the diffuser, which basically will not happen. He gets bested, and Liberty wins another round. By the way, Gazi, thank you for hosting the channel with 2 viewers. I assume your part in that Go4 is finished if you're hosting. I assume it implies that your stream is over and that you have lost. So, yeah. GG to you, no matter how far you went. I'm sure you tried your best. Just as the orange team here is trying their best. Oh god damn it, really. Yeah, the CLS team, they are trying really hard, but they kind of fail to catch to understand the essence of the defense here. They realized that there were really little defenders by the tellers and bathroom area. So yeah, obviously Hibana was quite easily able to open up the reinforced wall there, and it would have been a good entry point into the objective had there not been this heavy of an emphasis on the verticality play. Because, as I said, the defenders, Liberty Gaming, were able to lock down the site completely from above. So the complete and total lack of anti-roaming here on the CLS attack kind of led to their doom here. And with 2 rounds won in a row, Liberty Gaming are down to their tertiary site, which happens to be supply room and customs. So they really, and I do mean really, do not like to defend the teller's bomb site, which is understandable. However, there's the one thing. I have recently seen the teller's bomb site being played more and more, even as a primary site for the one team that I have in mind. And there has to be something in the recent update that has changed the meta to make it easier to defend the teller site, because if not, nobody would go there. So, and the little thing that has changed, the little adjustments that have been made to the meta, kind of evaded me, because I really don't get why the teams that I do have in mind went there that quickly and that eagerly. Tino will be working on the on the reinforced on the hard walls here. However, the Twitch drone will fail to prevent the bandit tricksing, and I do believe Tino, yeah, exactly, he used up all 3 of his X-Kairos doing so. So that's going to be really putting the attackers in a difficult position, as there's going to be no way to open up those reinforced hatches. As I say this, though, I realize that Hogs has opened up all of the hatches, so just getting the kill would be sufficient to open up the top floor. Pistol gets a nice kill. I really am missing all those kills here. Nixty in a good position to just walk up back into the CCTV room and wreak havoc on the attackers. Attackers that are, I believe, no longer in CCTV. Yeah, okay, they're just getting back in there again. And visibly, we're working on missing intel, or on very little intel. Tino obviously believes somebody was there, which turns out not to be the case. As I want to take Twitch's POV, she is being dealt with by Nixty. So nice roaming here done by Mozzie, but there's another challenger coming up, and it's going to be Pistol. Pistol will be trying to get rid of those pesky roamers. The camera, however, has seen him, so we could be expecting a push here from Mozzie. Exactly, Nixty with a nice kill here. Tino and Frey will be slowly but surely running out of time. There's only 55 seconds remaining. Frey is able to tag the feed. Should it be? Yes, it was Maestro. He could be going for a wallbang and gets the headshot. Nixty, last operator alive on his team, has no control whatsoever on the objectives. The diffuser will be planted, and he seems to know exactly where the defenders are. Will fail, however, to get the kill. Say less will be winning the round, the 9th round, and it is their 4th point, I believe. Yeah, exactly. It's a 5-4 score line, so they're not out of the woods yet, but they are keeping up quite well with the Liberty Gaming team. Once again, just to remind you, you guys, I see there are 15, 16-ish people watching right now. With the delay in 4.5 minutes, the number might as well be different. Seed-wise, Liberty Gaming has been seeded 72nd, and Celeste has been seeded 104. So you might think that, according to ESL's matchmaking here, Celeste would be not as skilled as Liberty Gaming, or at least that's what the seed kind of implies. However, say less, they have been able to best Total Chaos, who have been seeded 25th. So that kind of implies that say less are worth more than the seed would have us believe. And therefore, I really, and I do mean really, I'm not able to predict where this game is going to be, is going to go. It really could go either way. However, Liberty Gaming has been ahead for most of the game so far, so should the current trend stay true for the next few rounds, Liberty Gaming could be on their way to another victory here. With that being said, CLS will spawn in. We only have Hibana as a hard breacher. Thatcher will be obviously accompanying her. And to me, it might be an indicator that CLS has failed to predict the bomb site, as you would prefer, usually at least, to bring a thermite to open up that reinforced wall. Reinforced wall that will be partially remain soft and partially being opened by the defenders. This obviously is part of Liberty Gaming strategy, but it's not something that CLS should or could have been able to predict. So, I also see Zofia here basically ready to cut off any rotation. This is going to be making a lot of sound, and Nixty should know that there's somebody here. He will be tossing a Prisma, apparently to bait out Zofia's fire. And so far, Offering kind of knows where his opponents are going to be. He tries to go for their one-taps, but peeking twice in a row at the exact same point is going to prove to be dangerous, to say the least. Firemeister, with the nice and long cross angles, knows exactly where he is receiving fire from, and he'll be aiming there. One-tap prevention fire, but really, the timing is just not there, though his aim was true there. And right now, this situation is more or less stagnating. For a few seconds now, the attackers have failed to make any progress, but this changes as Tino is stepping foot on the objective itself. Nixty gets a first kill. Will we get the refrag? No, Tino is just firing at those Prismas. Did not know at all that Hawks was there. 2v3 situation. We have extensions still locking down any and all rotations. But if nobody is pushing you, and if the attackers give no reason to the defenders to rotate, well, extension here is basically going to be holding in an empty and worthless angle since, well, he's not doing much. So Pistol had to rotate, had to get the diffuser back, and this will leave us with just about a minute remaining to take control of the objective itself. Verticality will be played here. Will it work? Both players exchanging fire, but Pistol will get the final kill here. Will get the final say. Firemeister in a 1v2 situation. He knows that Zofia is down. Not down as in injured, but down as in on the first floor. So temporarily, he is only going to be facing up against the Bach. Bach, who has the frag nades, he has tossed both of them though. It could have been a nice trick to just have them ricochet off of the wall and then get a nice kill on Firemeister. But Firemeister will obviously not allow the diffuser from being planted. He will crawl and try to peek that way, but crawling really does make for a slow peek, and Pistol is able to take advantage of that. There we go, Pistol with, all in all, a fairly basic kill. He just pre-fired when he saw that the shoulders and feet were poking out before Doc had any real chance of firing back. The scoreline is now 5-5. We are looking at a very, very likely overtime. Tino here, who was Tino. Yeah, Tino. Just wanted to make sure I don't mispronounce that gamer tag. Yeah, Tino really did not know which was the Prisma and which was the real thing, and that led to his demise. Maybe a bit of a lack of droning here. Had you known which ones were fake and which ones were real, you might have survived there. Admittedly, his opponent was kind of hiding behind the Prismas, forcing Tino to fire through them to get tagged. But had Tino known where to shoot, he would have dealt with his opponent there. Though Smoke would still have gotten the kill. So, the 11th round will be played in Armory again. Obviously, Liberty lost their defense, so they are free to try a second time. And let's see what it gives. So we are obviously preparing or setting ourselves up for a wide, an extended hold here. Psycho with the ADS or the active defense systems will try, or is setting somebody else up to hold CCTV because he obviously is not staying there. We also do see two ACOGs on the defenders teams. Will they be used to try to go for a spawn kill? Apparently not, offering... As far as I can tell, we're going for basically the same hold as previously, with the only notable exception being Nixty. We'll be holding the security room with all three Prismas, who will be tossed in that angle, visibly to prevent any attackers from just entering through the, I don't want to say main door, but through the most obvious door here. Sedated, though, with his screw top, could quite easily make short work. Wow, pronunciation here. Make short work of those Prismas. The diffuser has been dropped, but it's not due to enemy, to any Liberty Gaming's guys getting a kill. And those Prismas are quite pesky, are they not? Somebody's peeking here. I believe it was, yeah, Tino here will be dealt with. Psycho trying to go for the second kill, but it is Nixty who will get the frag, leaving us in a 3v5 situation. Extension here, once again, trying to lock down the side, trying to prevent any and all rotations. But as previously, your teammates have to force a rotation with, for example, Buck opening up the floor beneath the defender's feet or tossing a grenade. As I say this, Pistol gets a double kill. Nicely done. And now Extension's positioning could be really interesting because that could be quite important to prevent the defenders from coming back and hypothetically preventing the diffuser from being planted. Though, Psycho is already in place to prevent that. Extension is apparently expecting a run out. And if you look at the positioning, yeah, Hawks might be close by, but he's not moving as if he wants to actively challenge Extension. Therefore, Psycho is kind of left alone, and he will be pushed by multiple angles at the same time. Both defenders are not exactly working together right now, and it kind of makes for two separate instances of 1v3 situations there, and this is why Hawks had to come back, and he will do so. the smoke canister will apparently be preventing the plant of the diffuser. Frey will be taking a lot of damage. Psycho getting a kill at the very same moment. This brings us back to a 4v4 situation. And now it is kind of Extension who's not exactly helping out, though his repositioning allows him to get a nice kill on Psycho. Hawks now in a 1v2 situation. He's out of Toxic Babes. So it will be quite interesting. The timer is also running short. Should Extension here be able to lock down the kill? No, it's Frey that's going to get it. Sayles is now leading the game for the very first time, I believe. Nice kill here by Frey. So the positioning was not obvious to me at the beginning. I didn't exactly see how it was gonna work out, but definitely Zofia being there at the one window for basically the whole round ended up paying in the end. But the positioning at the very beginning of the round was favorable to the defenders. We could see how the attackers had issues coming up into the CCTV room, but after that, Pistol was able to get a nice double kill himself as well, which kind of brought the teams back on an equal footing. And at the very last moment, Sayles was able to pull ahead. Just let the game load, and yeah, we are now in match point situation. So Sayles, they are free to win the game at this point. Liberty Gaming, with their backs against the wall, they will be sweating, if not physically, mentally. They kind of know that it's all or nothing, it's now or never. So the pressure is bound to be at an all-time high here. And if we look at the historical data, Liberty Gaming has been able to win their defenses only by the Armory and the Workshop once. So this is their secondary site, not an ideal situation to be in. Nonetheless, it is going to be the one they're going to be putting themselves to. I think that was grammatically incorrect. Sorry about that. Quebec Tabarnak, bonsoir, how are you doing? So yeah, however, the last round they went here up top, they won flawlessly, or almost flawlessly. They won with a really solid margin. The one thing I want to point out though, the advantage of surprise will be lost by now. Sayles know what to expect and they will know how to counter the strategy. It is immediately obvious by the fact that they're all 5 of them, I want to say, if not all, almost all of them, immediately challenging the top hold from Liberty Gaming here. They're going to be trying to find a way in there. Bandit Trixing will be in full force. Firemeister should be able to manage that. And since you can't just come into the first floor and blow up the ceiling, because that would imply that you're on the OBJ itself. So yeah, the verticality play should not be too, say, worrying for Hawks right now. And with the shotgun and at that distance, any and all attackers who pick him will meet a quick doom. Thatcher Sedated is taking a bit of damage from Nixty. Nixty, who was playing the verticality, he'll be trying again an impact nade here. Could maybe even get the kill. Sedated being quite low health-wise, but he is out of impact nades. And we can see here that the attackers are off to a pretty good start. After all, they have partial control of the top floor, which is already better than they ever did last round. Firemeister now being down, he will be dealt with pretty quickly with no teammates inside to save him. Nixty kind of knows there's somebody back there, will fail, however, to get the kill. And, pourquoi il dit Psycho Cookie? It's Psycho. Le P, il va être à peu près muet en anglais. Nonetheless, let's switch back to English. I said this, I tagged the stream as being English. Yeah, 2v4 situation, sorry, 1v4. However, 2 of the remaining attackers are quite low. He might get a double kill here. Nicely done. And he got the kill on the bearer of the diffuser, offering with a triple kill. Should he get 2 more kills, should he get the clutch, he gets an ace. And saving your team off of a defeat, of a possible defeat with an ace is quite exhilarating, should I say. So, he is, however, too far out to hear the diffuser being planted. He's not going to challenge it. And Buck is going to win the round for his team. So yeah, Pistol here quickly planted the diffuser and knew exactly where the pressure was going to be coming from and won the round. Before we play show the replays, let's just watch that elite animation. Sedated, winning MVP on his team. Let's see on the. I want to see the scoreboard. Sedated was no longer leading as hard as he was at the beginning of the game. Frey and Pistol were able to pull their weights as well. But yeah, all in all, nicely done. Oh, no, wrong button. I don't want. Yes, please, I have. Thank you, okay. I would have lost the replays if not. Okay, so here we go. Final replays before we head into the next match. Here, sadly, Castle was not able to win his firefight because he kind of knew Buck was there, whereas Buck had to scan the entirety of the room, the waiting area. Nonetheless, the UMP-45, though it's a heavy hitter, is not exactly a long-range weapon. Unlike Buck's C8, Offering's double kill here was quite nicely done, but at the end of the day, Buck won the round. So, as I always say, GG. Yeah, it always lags when I'm transitioning here. Nonetheless, GG to the Liberty Gaming team. Nicely done on their part. Better luck next time. Nonetheless, they put up a nice fight. And to some extent, it must be a disappointing defeat as they were leading the game. They had the upper hand points-wise for most of the game. At the very end, Sayles were able to win 3 rounds in a row, which ended up being enough for them to win the game. So, as previously, I will kick us into a Barrett back screen as the players will have to upload, or it might actually go pretty quickly here. Nonetheless, there's always the paperwork of uploading the anti-cheat files, doing the map plan for the next game and everything. I don't know how long it's going to take, but as soon as we're ready to start the next game, I will let you guys know. Let's just do the one thing first, though. Let's come here. No, not that. Sorry, wrong button. And here we go.
bomb has been located.
I always say this, but every time there's a transition, the frame rate goes down. So we are almost okay. We're almost ready to start the next game. There's only one guy on the Rain team missing. And this game is going to be on Villa. So we've played Border twice tonight. So Villa will be a welcome change, and Villa as well is, I would say, by far the least liked map on the ESL or on the Pro League rotation, on the map pool, should I say, by the general community. Pro players or the Pro League guys, they're in a different category from us, and from what I can see, from what I can tell, Villa is the least played, so this will be quite interesting for us to see a map that we don't see too often usually. It's basically all that I have to say on that front. We did have two Canadian teams previously. Now there is Rain, an American team, obviously. The one thing that I want to point out is that the server we're playing on is Central US or CUS. And Central US is going to be basically, as it said, in just around the middle of the United States to ensure as fair a fight as possible on the whole North American continent. Quick check, is everybody ready?
One sec.
Yeah, we're good to go whenever, so. Whenever they're
All right,
Where's my cocaine at?
Yeah, give us 1 sec.
no worries. So as I was saying, so the servers being in the US with two Canadian teams who both presumably had bits of a distance between them and the server, would have had basically equals or just about equal pings. Here it will be interesting to see. So Rain, they're American. They might all be in Alaska, and they might have end up having bigger pings than CLS on average. It yet remains to be seen, but that might be a tiny, and I do mean tiny. After all, the pings are pretty good at this point. We're way past Operation Health, but the pings might play a bit of a role or a bit more of a factor than they used to last game. And with that being said, as you probably have heard the guys in game say, they're waiting for, I believe Pistol is not yet ready to start the game, and shortly, soon, we will be good to start the match. Also, by the way, for those of you who are watching right now, obviously, this will be my last game, my last cast tonight, as it is already past 9, and I do have stuff to do tomorrow in the morning. It would be fun if the weekend went 3 days. Sadly, it is not the case. So with that being said, I'm basically talking out of my ass.
We're just waiting on our guy Pistol to come back, so just be a minute here.
You're good. I'm
Okay,
waiting for my
Dex.
mom to give me my cocaine.
For sure, bro. I got
Alright.
pizza on the way, too.
So yeah, I
Yo,
was.
what kind of pizza? Local or like a chain?
I want to
Chain.
know that.
You get like Domino's or some shit?
Pizza Hut.
Oh, word, bro. I saw the commercial
Letty.
for their like fancy ass pizzas, dude.
Okay, nobody cares.
You
I went
can't
with- I went with
out
bacon.
the hut.
Yeah, I went with bacon, and then they also deliver Cinnabon in my area. So, like, I ordered some Cinnabon. So
Ooh.
I'm gonna get your Cinnabons, baby.
we'll see. If you treat me
That-
right this game.
That conversation is way more entertaining than it should be.
Yo, let us get the W. PayPal.
We'll pay for your pizza, bro.
What was that? I tabbed out.
I'll pay for your pizza for the rest
yeah,
of the
we'll
week.
pay
every
for your
single day.
pizza, bro.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll get the org to pay for your pizza.
Got you.
So the interesting thing I do want to look up really quickly here
Yeah, yo, you have
is
Venmo?
the seed.
Yeah, bro, I hit you with it after the game.
Rain
I
are seeded.
Or you can just sub to me on Twitch.
Rain.
bet. After the game, I will.
Rain are seated 73rd. And Say Less, they're seated 104. So, once again, stats-wise, we could expect Rain to gain the upper hand. However, once again, Say Less, they have just beaten the odds, literally a few minutes ago. So I would take this with a grain of salt. However, once again, ESL plays matchmaking would assume that Rain has the upper hand. And since we do have a bit of time, you know what? I will kick us into...
Yo, tell me why Tom Brady had like 30 yards of fucking green grass,
Not
dude,
that
and
one.
he can only run like a fucking 6-second
Okay.
40, dude. It's disgusting.
I will kick us into that screen, which is my usual streaming, watch me play streaming screen. Oh, I didn't want to hit that button. But it will be perfect to take a look at the players' ranks. Obviously, we're talking about a high level of play. So right now, Rain is... oh, it's Platinum, right. It's no longer Diamond. I was zoning out here. All of them Plat 1. Pepsi being Plat 2, and Polar being Plat 1. Some of you may be quick to point out that the ranking system is not exactly a great measure of skill in the game. There is some merit to this argument, which we're not going to be getting into right now. What I want to say is it's basically the only tool that Ubisoft is giving us. So it's the tool I'm going to have to work with.
Yeah, but don't protest
Astro-
us. We're calling our boy.
Astrophysics
What?
saying
No,
it's a
we're
very
not- we're
nice
chill,
overlay.
dude.
Just to
Okay.
short circuit the
Unless
4.5
you got
minutes
beef
delay
with
that we
us
have, I will
beforehand,
just
then
type in the
really-
chat. Thank you.
Nah, bro.
Okay.
Why is
Bro,
it?
if Yardi shows up in this bitch though, insta.
Very appreciated. That sounded like a bot voice. So yeah, we have went through the rankings real quick. I do believe there is only one Platinum 2 on Rain, being Pepsi, and on the Celeste team.
We ready?
All right, good luck, have fun, and may the best team win.
Okay.
And let's
Have
jump back
fun,
into
boys.
that screen. Yeah, so I believe there is a Plat 2 more on the Celeste team than on Rain. So 4 P1s and 1 P2 on Rain, 3 P1s and 2 P2s on Celeste, which is a minor difference at this point. Still, since there wasn't much going on before the start of the game, that was all I had to go by. So the bans are going to be starting shortly. Celeste will be banning an attacker. So who do they find is particularly pesky when going up against on Villa? And it will be Blackbeard. Quite an interesting pick. He is a kind of all or nothing operator. If he's caught with his pants down, virtually, metaphorically speaking, obviously, he is next to worthless. His reaction time, by virtue of his gun being quite heavy because of the shield, is really low. That gun is really low to get brought up, and it does have a fair bit of recoil at the same time. So if you're not already aiming at your opponent when he's peeking you, or aiming at the angle he's going to be peeking you from, Blackbeard really has a tough time winning firefights. So what I want to say by that is, if you don't really know how to play him, he's not going to be good. But if you know what Blackbeard is good at, you are really able to put yourself into a strong position here. Mira being the last ban, I will just quickly glaze over Thermite. Obviously, hard breaching capabilities, totally understandable. Though Jackal could have been a solid choice as well. And finally, Mira, and who was the other one? Remind me real quick. Echo. Yeah, so quite interestingly, the attackers sometimes will ban entire roamers. For example, Jackal or Nomad can be, even Dokubi is getting banned more often now that she has the frag grenades. However, roamers themselves are rarely being seen as overpowered, and therefore roamers themselves are rarely being banned. It is just an observation I want to share with you guys. There's no... Well, if we want to have a debate, we can have one, but, I mean, it's not really a philosophical observation. Just, yeah, filling time since the first round has yet to start. Without too many, or without much surprise, we'll be going trophy room. It also seems to me as if the meta in Villa has changed a bit recently. I do remember a game I've cast, I believe yesterday it was, And the team's primary site, both teams' primary sites were kitchen. So both teams on their very first round chose to defend kitchen. And yeah, different updates will make it harder or easier to defend different bomb sites. And it's quite interesting to see the meta shifting quite a bit to prevent the maps from becoming stale. After all, well, Villa is the most recent map in the Pro League map pool. But if we talk about, for example, Clubhouse, who has been in the game since the very beginning, well, to see something change in the map is quite interesting to prevent them from getting stale. Polar here, probably, yeah, trying to... He's kind of playing Glaz's role here, kind of sniping across, not really the streak here, but really just preventing any and all defenders from passing in front of that window. Points for the effort, but unfortunately, no defenders picked that angle. It's not really your fault, but the results won't be there. Speaking of roamers, we do have a few extension. Oh, as I change the POV, Slaughter gets a nice first kill. It was on Bandit as well, so should he have wanted to Bandit tricks, this is no longer going to be an opportunity, making it so much more easier for Pepsi, and by that I mean a bit easier for Pepsi to open up hypothetical reinforced walls. There is, however, somebody on this the red floor, the red staircase, extension getting a nice kill, and Free apparently coming up on him to help him, but Free didn't exactly stay with the extension. And right now there's no attackers in the immediate area. Therefore, the remaining guys on the Rain team can push up virtually unopposed. The extension will be avoiding those flash grenades. He can walk up the stairs whenever he wants and contest this again. He'll go for the nitro on the ceiling. Will it work? It's been there for way too long. The remaining attackers have moved since Jinxie, I believe you'd pronounce his gamer tag, is kind of probing, kind of trying to see where he can push up on. He didn't exactly see the defender on B, but definitely he knows that Legion is right there. Legion holding a very tight angle. It will be quite difficult here for Sedidity to be picked off, as, well, his positioning was just pretty good. Tino using his ACOG to his fullest extent, using the long range to his advantage, but let's just not forget that the attackers themselves also have the ACOG, except Jinxie here, who, since he, looking at the current composition, appears to be the entry fragger, will obviously not be using the ACOG. So going up against Doc might be a bit of a challenge here. Doc will see him rotate, but obviously normal human reaction time will not allow him to get the kill. However, the positioning is now given away, and Jinxie will be facing a quite tough nut to crack here. Tino has yet a strong positioning, and the timer is slowly but surely running out. He gets a first kill. Nicely done here. Pepsi, will he try? Oh yeah, we have definitely known now that extension is there. Wanted to go for the roam. He will be picked off though, leaving us with a 2v2 situation. Excuse me, 1v2 situation. Pepsi has 13 seconds left. He has to get in. Tries, but to no avail. CLS winning the first round. There we go. Sedated with a nice final kill cam. Up. Let's go for the replays. The first round that was kind of dragging out. We saw the attackers clearing. I have really recorded the ban phase. Okay. They had a bit of difficulties to just clear the roamers or clear the, well, was Legion a roamer or more of an anchoring operator, but just not on MJ? In French, which is my first language, there are two distinct terms for somebody that's roaming and somebody that's anchoring and statically holding an angle just outside of the OBJ, kind of going for an extended hold. As far as I know, though, this distinction is not present in the English vocabulary. Maybe it's just me that doesn't know the word I'm thinking about in English. Nonetheless, Legion Mozzie was not exactly going for the sneaky roam to try to outflank his opponents and to shoot at them from behind and everything. His position was known and he was a tough nut to crack. Eventually he got kind of too greedy. He might have been better off rotating, since obviously the air jab ended up being his doom.
5 seconds to go.
And I don't really know where I'm going with this, so let's just
Attackers are moving out
remind ourselves that CLS has won the first round. They obviously can't go statues again, so they will be going aviation and games room second, which was quite expected here.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers recovered
So,
the bomb diffuser.
do we have any spawn kills? Yeah, Pistol will be trying to hold a tight angle. Does not work out. Not because he failed at his task, just because nobody peeked that angle. So, once again, I cannot really blame or criticize this. It was just a matter of odds, and nobody on the Rain team ran past him on that angle. Jixie, there's no N. Jixie here seems to be eager to come in from that side. Let's just look at the roamers though. Is somebody in the area to try to deny him that? And quickly, I don't really see anybody. There was Extension, who is in mud room right now. He might walk or run back up the stairs, and he could be, I don't want to say quickly, but he could be in a timely manner a challenge to the Rain team, who is slowly but surely taking hold of part of the top floor. And as we can see here, True kind of turning around. It was just a rotation, though. Not really looking at the how's it called? I have forgotten how that room is called. Astronomy. Thank you, the compass. At the astronomy room. So he might be tempted to come back up, but there are the gridlocks gadget here, the track stingers that are deployed in the staircase, making it very difficult for him to rotate. So he could maybe destroy them by meleeing them one by one, which would be the most effective way to destroy them without making too much noise. But that would be very time consuming. And in the meantime, obviously the Rain team is not going to be relenting, or they're not going to be pausing their assault just to wait for Extension to come up behind them. Tino getting the first blood here. And the one thing I do want to point out is that Rain was able to get a foothold on the top floor pretty quickly, but they are quite late at attacking the OBJ itself. Though they've been surrounding it for over a minute now, they yet have to put real pressure on the bomb sites themselves. True here trying to peek, and was the wall here reinforced? Yeah, Doc was definitely not looking through bullet holes. Tino, by the way, will be getting a nice first kill here on Jinxie. True will be the last player alive. Will he get the first kill here? It definitely does. He will have to reload whilst I see a silhouette that's moving forward slowly but surely. All that for naught as he is being flanked, and Tino shoots at him from behind. Nicely done here. Tino knew exactly where his opponent was going to be, and he didn't really expect Gridlock to be looking at him, which kind of showed in his movements. All in all, it worked out quite nicely for them. This will be the second round won by CLS in a row, so their defense is up to a good start. However, the round or the game itself is still pretty young, so you can't really tell how the game is going to look, how the scoreline is going to be at the end of the game. Nonetheless, the openers here by CLS are quite enticing so far. In the chat, R6 Tatter. Sorry, once again, 4.5 minutes delay. I am going to answer from your perspective quite late to your comments. I'm sorry, it's ESL standard, 4.5 minutes to prevent any and all stream sniping from occurring. Nonetheless, Team Rain all the way. Is this the final? No, it's not the final. It's round of 16, I want to say. Let me just make sure real quick. It's round of 16, yeah. So there's 16 teams at this stage. Next stage is going to be the quarterfinal. And who asked that? It was Adjuan Tap. I might have butchered your name. Sorry about that. But yeah, Tap. Usually, the Go4s last long enough that the match goes well past midnight, the final, I mean. And by ESL rules, if a match is set to start that late, the players are allowed to postpone the match to the next day, which usually ends up happening. So the final itself will possibly, I don't want to say probably, but will possibly be played tomorrow. With that being said, Jinxie already, once again, Jixie. God damn it. Misreading gamer tags is a flaw of mine. A mistake that I tend to make more often than I'd like. Did we see a runout here? Bandit apparently trying to be overly aggressive. Pepsi punishing him for that. So being aware of your surroundings is key. Knowledge is power, and Pepsi just paid their price for it. By the way, we have, or I at the very least, have missed basically all of the preparation phase. We are here in the kitchen. Obviously, how's the other room being called? Reading room, I want to say, is a really poor choice of bomb sites. So, any and all deviations from those three bomb sites in that row are somewhat rare. Nonetheless, Pepsi here tossed the flashbang. He possibly flashed extension or fray, I believe. Without really pushing, Pepsi here did not want to use his advantage, his hypothetical advantage from using that stun grenade to get a kill, which will lead to him being injured. I don't really know exactly how that happened, though. I didn't spectate him when whilst he was being fired at. Nonetheless, we are back to a 4v4 situation, and the round is progressing slowly but steadily. Over half of the round has been played, and the attackers are starting, and it has been starting to put pressure on the OBJ. Slaughter here kind of knows that extinction is right under, not extinction fray, there's a silhouette underneath him, but I might just be that. Oh, okay, it's Legion. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Legion was kind of dancing around or underneath the hatch. Polar just barely not able to get the kill here, and we're still playing heavily on the verticality. So True getting a nice kill and dropping down. That's quite important because you might be over the objective, might destroy the whole floor/ceiling. But it's not going to be worth much because you can't really plant the diffuser from the top floor. So somebody has to drop down. True, being the bearer of the diffuser, is obviously the right choice for this. Sedated gets a nice kill on Slaughter. Polar trying to find a nice tight angle. And just here, he might find it on Doc. Doc would have been a formidable foe. True would have had a tough time coming through that doorway. But now that they're... sorry about the stopwatch. But now that the danger has been dealt with, and with only 15 seconds remaining, you really will have to plant the diffuser quickly. Extension here. Oh, this will be quite difficult. Frag on the bearer of the diffuser. A double kill here. Jackal being dealt with by Sedated, who will win his team a third round. That could have gone both ways, to be honest. The diffuser could have been planted with the cover of smoke and with Jackal providing adequate cover, which sadly failed. And assuming the diffuser would have been planted, a 2v2 situation with the pressure of time being flipped upside down, that could have provided us with a really interesting round. Nonetheless, here a few easy mistakes. For example, as we just saw, I'll let the replays loop so we can see them again. 2 easy kills from the verticality gridlock. True getting the kill on, I believe it was Jaeger before jumping down. After that, Jackal, I want to say, getting an easy kill on Doc, who never hurt him. He didn't move, gave Doc the easiest target ever. But all in all, the defenders still won, so yeah, let's just watch that again. Right, yeah, I believe I've switched POVs a couple of times, but right here, yeah, True getting an easy kill on Jaeger, and then after that, Polar getting an easy kill on Doc. Those were 2 unfortunate demises, but the defenders were able to pull through and win the round. So all in all, any and all mistakes will be forgiven, but for say less sake, we should encourage them to not repeat such mistakes. For the stream, it is a requirement as an ESL caster. I have to adhere to ESL's rules, but I indeed find this to be quite long, and personally, I indeed use a shorter delay when I'm streaming or when I'm casting personal matches or non-ESL matches. I believe it has something to do. Actually, I don't exactly know. The admins came to us with that update saying there had been some social media drama and that people were not happy on how some other casters / players had been interacting with each other. As a caster, obviously, I have to remain neutral. An easy example, I am not allowed to cast any teams that I am a part of. And apparently, those standards hadn't been met, or something had stirred up social media drama, so the requirements have been just brought up a notch a few weeks back. I want to say a month and a half, maybe 2 months. But yeah, it is all in all quite recent. with that long-winded explanation, but yeah, many people are saying 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes is indeed longer than a single round. But still, I mean, you could have a Caveira. It's quite a rare situation, I'll admit it. But you could have a Caveira hiding in a dark corner from the beginning to the very end of the round. Should you plant the diffuser and should Caveira go there during the preparation phase, you might be barely just able to see her positioning if she stays there the whole round. Yeah, as Astrophysics says, to prevent stream sniping. Yeah, let's just get back into the game itself. It's now a 3v3 situation with 2 defenders on OBJ or extension being just right outside of the site itself. So Sedated was a rumor who's gone back on OBJ right now. Pepsi holding the back angle, apparently being afraid of being flanked. And that made for a basically 2v3 situation since he wasn't really contributing to his team. But now Sedated will be receiving pressure. 47 seconds remaining. Eventually the attackers will have to find a way to funnel into the objective. Heavy pre-fires here. Sedated kind of expected to be pushed. I don't see any goo mines on his screen and that in the doorway, which he will be remedying and overcompensating even maybe. Nonetheless, it will not be an enticing way to get in. With only 26 seconds remaining, Pepsi is slowly running out of options though. Polar is really low on health. He cannot really afford to step foot on the goo mines, which he will be apparently doing. Pepsi will revive him immediately, but the timer will be running short. Gets a first kill, will be dealt with immediately. 1v1 situations. They did got a fourth, but got 3 kills, sorry. But Rain will win their first round thanks to Polar. I was really worried by those goo mines. We saw that many of them had been tossed, and he indeed indeed stepped on one, but since he had been downed and revived, he had enough health to spare and could afford it. He could not afford to take any bullets in the final firefight, which he didn't, so let's just commend him for that. And yeah, those replays seem kind of foreign to me. I was really not concentrating on the game itself for half of the round. Pepsi and Polar really had to mount a last-minute push, and it kind of seemed to be difficult here. I did not expect the defenders to peek that hard. You'd rather remain alive and try to get a kill while the attackers are planting the diffuser than dying by a peek from Polar here. At the same time, when I'm playing the game, I tend to be overly cautious, so maybe it's just my cowardness talking. Is cowardness even an English word? Nonetheless, first win for Rain on statues. So Sayles could have gone there again, but they would rather go on aviation, a bomb site on which they were able to win the round with a fairly big advantage. I believe there were 3 or 4 guys on the Sayles team alive at the end of the round previously, second round I'm referring to here, which is a comfortable margin. When it comes down to the wire, when it comes down to a 1v1, you think to yourself, even though we've barely just won that game, that kind of margin is not a comfortable one. Also, something I believe is new. Did we have a Valkyrie previously? Or is my memory from a previous game? Nonetheless, on Villa, we haven't seen her too often, and since she just cycled through her cameras, we can see where they are, mostly on and around the OBJ, so we won't really have an advanced warning system from where the push is going to be coming from, but we will know when and how the attackers will be pushing into the OBJ. Is Jixi, sorry, rappelling up? Yeah, perfect opportunity for extension to run out, but Jixi was expecting that, and he reacted accordingly. Sedated could be the second line of defense here, as the attackers are pouring in. He will be receiving some fire, but those are lucky wallbangs, or unlucky wallbangs if you want to look at it that way. No bullets will be finding their way to Sedated, but there's another attacker here, Polar, who was just ready for Sedated, gets another kill. This is looking good for Rain. 5v3. It is a situation from which you can come back, but it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Frey as well was using his cameras when he has a few dead teammates to give him intel. It could have been a mistake, but he was able to get a kill, to get a double kill. However, True with the air jab will just be making sure that nobody will be running up, will be flanking him and coming up from behind, leaving him a good opportunity to drone out. Polar apparently will be playing verticality. The camera will be destroyed. He does have the shotgun in his back pocket, so he could go for the ceiling, which apparently he'll be doing, but the defender bandit in this case is way too mobile. Any and all verticality play will most likely not be successful here. Therefore, Polar will drone. True is done droning though, and he is ready, just about ready to push into the OBJ. Frey is being flashed, so Pistol could be the basically only line of defense here. Tino is flashed as well, but the attackers are not funneling into the objective right now. Pepsi is trying, but he is facing stiff resistance from Tino. Tino who's taking some damage from True. Many cross angles here are being held. Pepsi is really late. Any and all mistakes is going to be fatal for him. True getting a first kill here. There's also a Valkyrie camera which will be constantly tagging the attackers. This is not going to be this is not going to be looking too good, but Tino is not really moving to prevent the plant of the diffuser. He will barely miss here. Finally, the kill happens. Polar is now in a 1v2 situation, and is the Valkyrie camera seeing him? I don't exactly know. If it does, it barely does. If not, it barely doesn't. He's being pushed back here and is being flanked on from his left side, leaving us with a fourth round. I don't really think that Sailor is going to throw the round away. Leaving us with a 4-1 scoreline. The role swap is approaching really quickly, though. One might argue that it's easier defending than attacking on on this map, on Villa. And therefore, the role swap might just turn the tables. Though it is yet a round out, and before even talking about the next round, let's take a look at those replays. So what was quite interesting here, once again, the team I feel makes a few mistakes ends up winning. Mods' run out, though it was admittedly the right moment to do so, was met with a ready opponent, and Jaeger, the other roamer, has been picked off quite easily by Jackal, who was really ready for him, leaving the defenders on site quite exposed. There was nobody to try to harass the attackers, to try to disrupt their plan. Therefore, the diffuser was planted successfully, though it was quite a close call. But at the end of the day, those defenders hunkering down in the objective itself were able to repel the attack and were able to counter-defuse the diffuser. And that is quite confusing. Counter-defuse the diffuser? The terminology in this game is somewhat weird. Nonetheless, here we go. Last round before the role swap, and we do have many, and I do mean many, 3-speed 1-armor operators. Motzi, Frey, Pistol, Motzi, Jaeger Bandit, and Sedated playing Caveira. So any and all of those operators could be roaming. Jaeger and Bandits, they're not exactly roaming operators, though they're swift and light. Their gadget isn't exactly meant for that, but either of those two operators, once they've put down the Jaegers and the batteries, they're free to roam, unlike Extension and Sedated, who really have roam-oriented gadgets. And Sedated here does have the strong positioning, assuming the attackers will be pushing in from this side. It all comes down to True's droning. If he misses, or if the... Oh... That will make for a dead angle, or for a blind spot in the defenders or the attackers' intel. The drone will be coming in. Will Caveira have been droned? Definitely has been. Will be peeking when she shouldn't be. And Zofia here gets a first kill. Will be immediately refragged by Extension. Nice place here. Nice teamwork. At the same time, in the bedroom, we'll see a first kill by Pepsi. On Pistol. I saw two Ps. I was kind of wondering, are there players with Pepsi on both names, with a Pepsi gamer tag on both names? Brain fart. Nonetheless, Tino is going to be the second line of defense here. Will be preventing any attackers from coming in unchallenged through that doorway, but it does not seem to be the main focus of the attackers. Here, Polar is using the opening as a murder hold. Obviously, Hibana hasn't tried to go for an opening that would enable the attackers to walk into the OBJ, so we'll have to find another way in. This is just a murder hole, which so far has yet to produce any results, as I don't see any dead defenders as a result from that opening. Frey will be droned out, and I think I've even seen a second drone silhouette right here coming to him, so definitely the defenders on the OBJ will be droned. Their positionings will be known, and it will show Polar finally getting the kill that I was talking about. Extension, though, was not on the OBJ. He was not droned out, so he is an unknown variable who, as soon as he gets back in astronomy, will be dealt with by Polar. Polar getting a double kill this round, maybe even 3 kills, but I don't think so. I didn't see him getting a third kill. Nonetheless, this will be a good round won by Rain, who were falling behind, so this might be the beginning of their comeback here. Nonetheless, a 2-4 scoreline is not a critical situation, but still, in order to win, you at the very least have to have more points than your opponents. So this could be the beginning of their redemption. And we were statues. Yeah, sorry, I do have to keep a log of the rounds where they've been played and by which team they've been won. Should we have a rehost, it will be quite important to set the round history correctly. So, this was it for the first half of the game. I think I've pointed this out previously, but just to repeat myself, say less, though they've been carving themselves a nice little lead here, they arguably had the easy job of defending. So with the role swap happening, the tendencies or the rate at which both teams wins rounds might just be flipped upside down. Apparently, Rain, however, will have a different approach than Say Less. It is quite obvious that they're going for an extended hold. Somebody, or I do expect somebody, maybe even True, to defend the statue room, making it so much more harder for the Celeste team to take a hold on the building itself before moving to the bomb site. Either, or the two classical ways of pushing the games room and aviation would be either to come in from the bedroom, or from that side, from that balcony into study. Study obviously will be met with stiff resistance from the defenders on the objectives themselves, which are few, to be honest. Jixie is the only one. Pepsi coming back after planting that evil eye. Mute is still in the general area, so he could come back on OBJ quite swiftly should the need arise. But here we do definitely see Polar and Slaughter, who are basically holding dead angles. There's nobody that's going to be pushing them from that side. And so right now, the defenders on OBJ, Legion, Maestro, and Smoke, would be better off with having those roamers help, as, once again, they're not holding much of value there. So, Hibana getting a first kill here, Tino, on Jinxie. Jinxie apparently trying to go for a peek when he maybe shouldn't have. Pepsi is the next line of defense. Will we be pushing in from that side? Yes, we will, and he stands ready here. The remaining defenders have come back, and the tables have turned. We're now at a 2-3 situation. Not a big lead that the Rain team has. As I say this, though, Slaughter gets another kill. Extension now in the 1v4 situation. There is an Evil Eye on his right, but he barely cannot destroy it because Jaeger is constantly challenging him. So should he get the KS-79 lifeline out, well, he would be basically defenseless against the Jaeger. Gets a first kill. He will retreat and destroy that Evil Eye, but not without losing a bit of health in the process. And he's still up against two defenders, two well-armed and well-alive defenders. Their health are full, whereas Extension is not allowed the slightest mistake. With that pre-fire, his position will be known as well, so Mute will be the first one to expect him, and Pepsi will be just over his shoulder, holding the line as well, holding the angle. Pepsi ends up getting the kill, Rain winning the 7th round, and the scores are now 3-4, I believe. Let's see, yeah, exactly, 3-4, so Rain are definitely mounting, so far, a little comeback. Let's see how long they can keep the ball rolling before Celeste wins another round and basically stops that momentum dead in its tracks. Wow, pronunciation. I will get it straight. Nonetheless, the second half is yet only represented by a single round, so the sample on which I'm basing my predictions here is really small, and therefore is really prone to errors. So this final kill cam here by Pepsi, quite beautiful, will be it before we head into the 8th round, and that will be quite interesting. So we have seen a solid defense on their first side. Their second side statues here will probably be quite similar to the CLS team, since neither of those teams, CLS and Rain, have shown strats of their own so far. It was basically the ranked strats or the standard strategy that everybody agrees on is the best, and that both teams are just trying to optimize better than their opponents. We're not saying anything new or overly surprising. It's a bit unusual to have these two, or these four, should I say, walls reinforced, but it just goes to show that we're trying to go for an extended hold, which does fit with Rain's previous playstyle, or their playstyle in the previous round. So previously, since the OBJ, the bombs themselves were in game room aviation, the extended hold was basically having some roaming presence into aviation and statues. So, Tino will be apparently pushing the bedroom. The question is always, is he pushing alone, or does he have his teammates backing him up? Apparently, though sedated spawn on the other side of the building, he will be moving to link up with him. It's always interesting to see because Tino has the diffuser, so if he's the only one pushing a certain angle and say everybody else is coming from let's say study and games room, so everybody else would be a diversion because the rest of the team does not have the diffuser. Tino here kind of sneaking his way into there. I don't think he's been spotted into the walk-in closet. There is Pepsi with the Evil Eye that would take intel on his positioning really quickly, and True is absolutely ready for somebody to jump up into that window. But it is Slaughter that will get the first kill here, and he got it from the outside. I didn't know if not how what kind of angle he would have gotten here. Thatcher being distracted by a drone, that would be the end of him. But Smoke himself shouldn't have turned away, and those kills are happening quickly now. Wow. So Pistol, after destroying a camera, his positioning will be known, but both attackers are not on the first floor, so we're not exactly in a position to mount a direct attack on the objective itself. This would be a good moment, as we see, to regroup, to drone out, and to think about our next move. There's still over a minute remaining, so the CLS guys still have lots of time to just think about their next move. They will have to recover the diffuser, so this kind of forces their hand into a push by the bedroom area. And if we look at it, Pepsi does he still have an Evil Eye in the bedroom? So far, I can't see it. Maybe it's been destroyed. Maybe I'm just blind. But Pistol here is now definitely ready. And we have a first kill here from Jixie. Sorry, on Extinction. Pistol now in a 1v3 situation. 38 seconds remaining on the clock. So he will have to go for the kills quite quickly. And the super shotty at that distance is absolutely brutal. But Pistol will survive it with a first kill. That drone had been stolen by Matzi. So nicely done to destroy it, but you might have wanted to do it a bit earlier. He barely does not see Pepsi here. That was close. And with 15 seconds remaining, Pistol now really has to go and rush into those kills. He does not really have an opportunity to put the diffuser, and he did not exactly know where Pepsi was going to be. Pepsi making short work of Pistol. The ACOG and the 80 bullets mag will just chew through anyone who peeks you when you're expecting them. So this is another defense won by the blue team. And Rain are now back on an equal footing. The scoreline is now back to a 4-4. Should the current ball keep on rolling, this could be looking really good for
A bomb has been located. Attackers drop the diffuser.
for Rain. I kind of forgot their name here real quick. That's embarrassing. But yeah, so even as the orange team CLS had won 3 rounds in a row, won round 1 to 3, so there were 3 first defenses. And the blue team here, Rain, have just won 3 rounds in a row as well, showing us that even though the score lines weren't exactly equal at the in the first portion of the game here, both teams are able to dominate their opponents for a short period of time. What remains to be seen, however, is if Rain is able to win more than just 3 rounds in a row. If so, then they would show, or they would, well, achieve something that CLS hasn't been able to do so far.
10 seconds to go.
And we will be going here in the kitchen. Unsurprisingly, once you've won 2 rounds in a row on defense, well, you're down to your tertiary site.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
And here we apparently will be seeing some spawn killing attempts. Slaughter absolutely ready for somebody to peek him. We do see a silhouette over there, but that somebody is not going to be moving away from the spawn in a manner that will expose them. However, IQ, Pistol, who spawned, I believe, by Ruins, had to kind of walk around the building before linking up with his teammates, will be caught unaware and will be dealt with accordingly. I believe there was at least a, but apparently 2 silhouettes, 2 roamers up top, and those will be the first ones to see what Sedated is all about, as he and his teammates are trying to take control of the top floor. True is kind of juggling between 2 angles here. He knows that, well, here, the bedroom itself, the corridor, 90 corridor over there, gets a first kill here. Nicely done. So they did it really low as well, but just got a kill on Jinxie. Will be dealt with, though. True was able to pick him off. I believe it was True at the very least, but there is somebody right here. The opening up in the wall was a distraction, but really it is going to be Slaughter who comes up. He will, he flicked on on his teammate, thus team killing him, making it so much more easier for Extension to take control of the top floor. He will just toss a few air jabs before reviving Sedated, bringing us to on a 2v2 situation. What's quite interesting here is that we had many roamers up top. Only by clearing out the roamers, CLS has cleared out more than, or has wiped out more than half of the enemy team, of the Rain guys. But they themselves are down to only 2 people, and though the defenders are both up to 100 health points, Extension also is full life, but Sedated is not. So, based off of that, I'd say maybe the defense has it a bit easier. But really, I can't exactly tell how the round is gonna play out, because the timer is still has plenty of time for CLS to think of their next move. They're not being forced into an aggressive push. They still have the leisure of droning. They still have the leisure of rotating or thinking of, about what they want to do. And well, yeah, Polar and Pepsi, they're basically waiting them out. Pepsi here has a strong position and gets a first kill. Will he get the second one? Extension is rotating around, and it would be, I believe, Valkyrie who will be the first person to see him. But no, Pepsi was on the table. Will he get the double kill? No, that was a close call. But Rain, once again, able to pull out ahead, is now leading the game for the very first time since the game has started, and it is now a 4 rounds win streak for them. I do have a lot of replays. I might even have some replays from the previous round, but as I say this, I do realize that no, it's not the case. We have just seen so many kills that that round was quite beautiful, actually. True here was able to get her first kill. Another kill would have happened. He put Sedated down, not able to finish him off though. True almost got that one, but it ended up being Jaeger who got the kill, who even flicked on his own teammate. That team kill is, well, disappointing to say the least. You're at a fairly high, or way higher than the average play level here. Skill level, should I say. So team kills, it was obviously accidental here, but still, it's always disappointing. Extension managing to get a kill on Pepsi, but not on Pistol. Honestly, should I have tried to predict the outcome here? Oh no, Polar, sorry. I would have expected the opposite outcome. I would have thought he would have gotten the kill on Valkyrie, but then Maestro would have taken care of him, which ended up, well, not being the case. 10th round. We are obviously back right here on our primary site on Aviator and Game Room, since it's just been that long since we've been there. So, what can I say about the situation here? Once again, we're going for a fairly large hold, and any and all reinforcement or utility under any shape and form being deployed, for example here, the signal disruptor being deployed outside of the objective is just going to be making the site itself so much more vulnerable. It's kind of a dilemma. Do you want to defend, or do you want to put everything you have in the on the OBJ itself by the bombs themselves, or do you want to keep something else for outside the OBJ? The answer here will be extended hold. Slaughter here with a run-out gets a nice first kill. There was somebody else. Frey is absolutely ready for another run-out, which will not happen. Slaughter knows he no longer has the advantage of surprise and acts accordingly, basically. We do still have 4 attackers though, and they are already taking a foothold in the building itself. Pole are absolutely ready to be pushed, but Tino here wants to make sure that nobody is going to try to go for a flank. That Evil Eye will be dealt with pretty easily, thus securing the corridor, making it so much more easier for Sedated to open up those reinforced walls with a Hibana. And since the protection came from a mute jammer, there's no real way to do any kind of bandit tricksing, and thus the walls will be opened up. However, Pepsi with the ACOG is still a formidable foe. Just opening up the wall is not enough to guarantee yourself a victory here. However, both teams still have 4 players and still have lots of utilities. So, for example, here Zofia still has 1 concussion nade. The Claymore has been placed to prevent any and all rotation and roaming. Jixie, I'm always confusing her name. Sorry about that. Jixie is absolutely ready to peek the angle. And with Tino shortly, will have his feet tangled up in barbed wire. He will barely get the kill. Yes, but gets refragged immediately. Exactly what we were all expecting. I think True here knows there is Jackal at the first floor, and his goal here is to deny Jackal any access to the top floor, which will apparently not happen. As I say this, no, Mute gets the kill, putting the defender's reign back at a numerical advantage. That is a good look for them right now. That round is looking good for them right now. As Pistol gets another round, he will be, however, facing with True. Or Jixie, sorry, Jixie, last operator on the objective. Shrew can easily come to get back here. A few bullets here will do the trick. 1v1 situation. Sedated, knowing that he won't be able to plant the diffuser. Never is True gonna allow that. So True simply is playing for time. If you hear the diffuser being planted, you simply rush in and get the kill. And if the timer runs out, well, it's going to be an easy victory nonetheless. So Sedated has to fall back. He is now out of earshot, and Shrew is not even going to try to deny the plant of the diffuser, thus flipping the tables. The time pressure is now on the Rain team, and the defenders, well, they don't really have offensive gadgets, so they're ill-equipped to aggressively take possession of a room. But the natural cell is not going to care in the slightest if you're defending or if you're attacking the room, thus winning Rain their 5th round in a row. And that must be hitting hard on Silas's morale. They were up by a few rounds at the beginning, and now the situation is just slipping out of their grasp. They're now backs against the wall. Actually, Rain is now in a match point situation. Let's go for those replays.
Defender has left the area of operation. Defender attackers have located a
And
bomb.
yeah, so there were fewer roamers this round. I feel like Slaughter is just the best. Oh, you know what? At the right after those replays, it might be the last chance we have at it. I will just take a look at the scoreboard, and we'll see who is who's leading his team. But yeah, Slaughter, his name does come up quite frequently. Well, I haven't looked at the scores yet. Indeed, indeed, it might be very plausible. So yeah, let's just skip the diffuser being planted, and let's take a look at that scoreboard. So you were talking about Slaughter. Slaughter is the 2nd highest fragger in his team, and should I go out on a limb here, the UMP-45 True's gun obviously is not exactly known for being the best weapon in the game. So maybe Slaughter will be able to pull ahead, maybe once again for the last round. Whereas on the orange team, there really is a gap. 10, 11, and then 8, and then 5, and 4. It drops off pretty steeply here. Whereas on the rain team, though there still has to be a player that has the most skills and a player that has the least skills in any type of ordering items, peoples, whatever. There has to be a first and a last in the list. But the difference isn't as steep. So the CLS guys, the CLS team is kind of on a all or nothing situation. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but if you are able to take care or to deal with the top fragger. Oh, by the way, this is Matsu we're spectating. He got a Twitch drone. If you're able to take out the top fraggers, the bottom fraggers are way less of a threat than on the rain team, since the bottom fraggers aren't that far behind the top fraggers. Ooh, quite interestingly. So I believe it is Polar. Yeah, right here. He is hiding behind those castle barricades. We are definitely trying for an extended hold. Let's see how it works out, because definitely any and all defenders that are not on the objective are also going to be making the objective a weaker site. And usually you'd have like 5 of the attackers, or almost all of them, going up against those roamers. But here, Twitch and Extension are kind of going directly in there. It will not work for Extension, but Sedated gets a refrag quite rapidly here. A Claymore, though, will be the end of a Jixie. A 3v3 situation here. Tino droning, Pistol droning as well, and Sedated also droning. Wow, this... Okay, yeah, they weren't all droning at the same time. It was just me rotating between the perspectives. But still, if the Rain team has wind of the fact that their opponents are on their phones, well, that could make for an easy run out, and thus an easy kill. That flash is just too close. It will get him. But nobody will be rushing in, so True here, he would have... he just realized he was in front of the window. Though he would have been vulnerable, nobody wanted to press in on that advantage. Tino and Pistol are well poised to do a pincer movement and push in on True, but they yet have to enter and to aggressively try to get the kill. And the timer is slowly but surely running out. There's only 50, under 50 seconds remaining. Polar and Pepsi both get a kill. Tino now in a 1v3 situation kind of has to get in here. He sees the barrel, knows that his opponent's going to be here, gets a first kill. 37 seconds remaining. He is escaping the smoke. He kind of knows he's there, but it is not going to be enough. Rain will be winning that game and going into quarterfinals. And also, this is going to be it for me tonight. After 3 hours of casting, my voice and my pronunciation apparently is starting to suffer a little bit. Plus, I have things to do tomorrow. So thank you all for being here. Yeah. That will be it for me tonight. I will wish the teams best of luck. And to our unfortunate losers, say less, as I say every time, I invite you guys to take a look at the VODs afterwards to try to find out what you may have done wrong, what you may do differently next time to avoid repeating those same mistakes. And I simply wish you guys best of luck in your next games. And same goes for Rain. They also committed a few mistakes this round, though they were able to win the game. VODs are a great way of finding out what you did wrong and how to improve upon yourself. So, with that being said, thank you all for being here. And I will just end the stream now. So I won't cut it off abruptly. As far as I know, there's not another ESL caster casting other games from that Go4R. As there are the 6 open qualifiers on right now. This tends to attract most of the ESL casters. So on that front, I will basically be leaving you guys here. Thank you all for being here, and we will see. I'll see you next week when I'll be casting ESL. Next week's Go4R basically. See y'all in a week.
Op 4